What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Fast Life Podcast. Happy Monday, if that's a thing. Want to let you guys know about my guys over at Lexan Moto, which are growing pretty strong here in 2020 despite all the fucking craziness. Their headsets and charging solutions are ideal in any type of motorcycle shop, big or small, and Lexan has dealer plans to meet your needs with products that make the riding experience better and more on the way. Lexan offers very competitive dealer margins, fast shipping, and great customer service. Email them at sales@lexanmotorcycle.com and be sure to check them out on Facebook at Lexan Moto USA, on Instagram at Lexan Moto. And don't forget, if you're just looking to get yourself some rad products, use offer code FASTLIFE at checkout for 15% off your entire order. Now is a great time to support small businesses like my dude John Jessup and his shop in Stockton, California, Team Dream Rides. I don't know if it's Team Dream. I think it's just Dream Rides, which is a spot for in-house dyno tuning, parts sales, service, and bike sales. TeamDreamRides.com is a great place to dump some of that stimulus cash or take advantage of 100 days same as cash financing on all products. All you need is a job and a bank account. And don't forget to give John and the team a follow at DreamRidesJohn on Instagram. Yeah. As I have said many times, ThunderMax is the upgrade ECM for your EFI-equipped Harley-Davidson. New exhaust, cams, throttle body, you name it, a ThunderMax tuner will dial in the necessary adjustments needed to keep your HD running fucking cherry, bro. Another advanced product from the T-Max camp is their iRide rear suspension system that auto-adjusts height and is the best of performance and comfort in air ride scenarios. To get more info on these products and to see the other products available to enhance your HD experience, head on over to shoptmax.com and follow ThunderMax on Instagram at ThunderMaxEF. Paint Huffer Metal Flake is killing the paint game with tons of great flakes, pearls, and other paint-related products. If you're stuck at home wanting to possibly pick up a trade or a hobby, custom paint's a great one. Check out painthuffer.com to see the vast amount of custom paint-related products and get yourself stocked up with tape and other items needed in the custom paint process. And don't forget to use FastLife13 at checkout to save yourself 10% off, as well as give them a follow on Instagram at Paint Metal Flake. Yeah. Welcome back, guys. It's Monday, as I stated before, and as of now, I think we're about a week and 3 days away from the Campout. I don't know if you guys are going to go. I don't know what's going to be. I have no idea. But Adam said, let's do it. I say, let's do it. I get a lot of messages every day from people all over the country that are like, fucking, let's do it. So let's do it. You know, let's do this thing. Let's make it the most memorable thing we've ever done, especially during this crazy time. So if you can find a way to get there, and if your state isn't under martial law and, you know, freedom is something that you care about, then bring your ass to the camp out and let's have a good time and, you know, hopefully not die of COVID-19. Anyway, I had a good time on this podcast with Justin Kelly. He's been on before. This dude's fucking funny as shit. He's a veteran. He's a writer. Is something I fucking love about the guy. And he's he's a builder. He's went to MMI. He welds. He fabricates. He's open-minded to growing his skills. And I love talking to the dude. And if you couldn't tell, man, this is like a 4-hour and some change podcast. We ended up doing like 3.5 hours, and then I have another hour left over. But I think I'm gonna save that for the Patreon. So if you guys want to check out the last part of this podcast, I'm going to try to put it up on our Patreon page, which is about 45 minutes to an hour left of the conversation. And the reason I'm doing so is because I can only release a 4-hour podcast on the actual platform here. So, you know, extra content, you know, for the extra people in my life. How you like that? Anyway, check out fastlifegarage.com. There's a link on the front page. You can check out all the stuff we do. Check out our Patreon. Check out our podcast. This podcast is also in video form. It's on our website and on our Facebook. So check that out if you want to watch us just, you know, stare at each other. That's there you go. Good times. Anyway, here's Justin Kelly, Hang 'em High Customs. Here we go.
Hey guys, you ready to let the dogs out?
Fast Life Podcast.
I don't know if I listened. Yep, you're right. I don't want to. I didn't want to.
Yeah, it's not
I
the most.
wasn't ready.
It's not the best, man. I hate it. I have a hard time watching this like after it's done, like because I watch just a little bit to make sure it doesn't look too fucked up. But man, it's freaky, man.
Oh yeah,
Being on this stuff.
well, it's hard because you want to critique the shit out of yourself. Mm-hmm. You become so like a completely unnarcissistic person starts watching himself become narcissistic as fuck, or well. Maybe not narcissistic ain't the right word,
But you do a lot of videos all the time. So how do you pull through all the?
Shit. You'd be amazed how many get deleted versus how many get posted.
Yeah,
that's why I like doing the Instagram stories. And like, man, the past few days I've been blowing the storyline up.
Dude, I'm like on Instagram going through stories, and you got like this solid line of like dots.
Like, the more you post, the smaller they get, and it just looks like a 10-foot line of period dots. Like
exactly.
But it's where I've been going through this gnarly battle with a braking system on my FXR. So I sold my FXR, posted it up for sale. That's a whole kind of long story. Backstory to that, I teeter-tottered on selling it because when I very first bought it, the whole point of buying it was to flip it. Mm-hmm. I started out with, and I'm, I ain't ashamed of nothing, so I started out with like a $200 part, and I did the whole like the kid that started out with a ball card and wound up buying a Ferrari, you know what I mean? Like, I started out with a shit part at a swap meet, and then traded it for a better part, then sold that part, wound up for like $400, and then like on and on and on until like actually right before I did the last podcast with you, I had got that twin cam, that 120R,
one from that dude out in East Texas.
Yep. When I went out to Sulphur Springs and got that twin cam FXR and everything, and the 120R motor and all that. So then I did this ride. I left out of Texas and rode nonstop, damn near to Canada and back. And
so you did it last year?
Yeah.
What was that for? I didn't even know about this shit.
Yeah. So it was my club nationals. I don't, because I always get so nervous about mixing, personal and everything with business. I don't go put, all over my business platform that, I ride a motorcycle club. But, so my last podcast I talked about being from the 75th Ranger Regiment. So I ride with a motorcycle club called Killer Man Sons Motorcycle Club. And it's just all dudes from the 75th Ranger Regiment. So it's all special operations guys, all airborne rangers. But every year we do our club nationals, and we'll do them at some new place. Mm-hmm. So we did it up in Minnesota this year. So I was heading up there, and so anyways, on my way north, I rode damn near to Canada all by myself. So I was in Iowa, and I had stopped in the middle of nowhere and was getting gas, and literally like it's just this gas station and fucking corn. And so I had just enough service on my phone. I just wanted to be off the bike for a minute. So I was searching through Instagram, and on like FXR Dynatrader or something like that, I seen that FXR. I was like, oh shit, this is super clean,
Yeah, I mean, you rode it to the throwdown last year.
Yeah, I rode it to the throwdown. Yeah, and I rode it all. I mean, I haven't taken it on any like big bomber trips. Honestly, is not super comfortable for myself.
Yeah.
It's a lot more. The best way I know how to describe is if you've ever rode a Ducati Monster. So like your feet are up under you, but not necessarily back behind you like they would be on like a leader bike or a more aggressive track bike. They're kind of a little more up, they're your typical Harley mid up under you. Mm-hmm. But then it's an FXR, so it kind of has like a little longer backbone, so you're like stretched way over the tank. And then it had the Pro Taper, or has the Pro Taper bars on it, but a lot of people don't realize on those, like on moto style bars or motocross bars specifically, they're made real wide so that the rider can trim them however they want. Like you buy Pro Taper bars for dirt bikes, and they already have pre-indicated measurements on the bar ends, so you can trim them however you want.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen that. But don't they like sleeve the newer bars for Harley
so
stuff?
Like that one, it's a 7/8 bar, and it has a 1/8 or 1 inch sleeve over it, so that you can put all the grips and everything on it. What's cool about that one is it's sleeved for. You good? It's sleeved for the.
Yeah, I'm good. Just making sure it's recording.
No, it's all right. Yeah, no shit, right? It's sleeved for the 1 inch grip and throttle body, but it's left raw 7/8 for the controls because it has ZX, or is it what, ZX14 or the 1400 Ninja hand controls on it, because it has a hydraulic clutch and it has the matching brake master cylinder. So it's got the pretty low master cylinders and the adjustable crotch rocket levers and all.
But if I'm not mistaken, your bars, the bar set up on that bike was pretty low. Like it wasn't like a 10, 12, 14.
No, it's a 1-inch rise off the top of the tree.
Yeah, that would be uncomfortable.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like when you lean over on a, so I rode sport bikes for a long time. So when you lean over on the bike, that's fine, because those bikes, they have, they call them rear sets instead of like a mid control. They call them rear sets. So your foot peg is behind your hip bone essentially.
Yeah,
so
you're honestly more like pointed forward and like
instead of like your body's in line like this, instead of your feet being down here and then your head bending over. Like that's how you are on my FXR now.
Yeah.
Which for a taller guy is uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Whereas like on a crotch rocket, your feet are back. So now it puts you back in alignment and you're good. There's a little weight on your wrist, but that's not a big deal. Mm-hmm. If you ride wheelies, there's no weight on your wrist. So a really short female bought the bike. So when she's on it, she doesn't have like not having as long of legs. She's not as like pinned up under her. So she doesn't look as uncomfortable. I wound up having to drop the bike quite a bit to get it to where she can put her feet on the ground. So I slammed it.
You know, the going deal is like anything under 10-inch bars basically is really good for like riding aggressively or doing
you can
wheelies.
Get over the bar.
Yeah. But for comfort to me, man, like
12s, 14s.
12s and 14s.
That's it, man.
I can fuck with 12s, but I'm most happy in life at 14-inch bars.
Yeah. So I'm the most comfortable at 14, and I feel like I can ride far more aggressively on a 12, and then on a 10, even though I know that that's where the real aggression is, like in really turning and getting up on the bars and pushing the bike around, I start to get that like I'm too far forward. But I went from years ago I went from a Ninja 600 to a shovel head with 19-inch ape hangers on it.
What did you ride up north? Did you ride your Softail up north?
Yeah, I rode my Softail up north. And I rode it with those West Coast T-bars on it.
So how do you like the whole, so you got an OG Softail, right? So we have to signify or whatever that word is I'm looking for.
No, it's good. Clarify.
There you go. The difference between the new Softails and the old one, but that vibe of like running like an older Softail, even though it's kind of even more sacrilegious or makes less. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sucking at podcasting today. Even though it's making a little bit less sense, I'm tripping. Let me start over. I'm new to this podcast thing right now.
It's good. It's good. I remember my first beer. It's all that good you put in there.
Yeah,
got you all geeked out.
Got me. But no, like when I was up in Phoenix a couple months ago, I was hanging out with CMP. Yeah. And he has a Softail there that made me just literally fall in love with that whole vibe. But it was dialed in, had T-bars. It was kind of low, kind of like Pro Street looking.
Yeah.
And those bikes, they got that long and low look whenever you get them laid out right. And that T-bar look, it's just kind of like a fucking mean looking stance. And I just started thinking, I was like, man, I can see myself rolling that shit.
So I bought that. We totally veered away from the FXR, but anyways, long story.
That's where we go.
Yeah, exactly right. If you want to learn about that, just go to my Instagram and watch all the stories on it, which they'll be gone in 24 hours. But my Softail, when I first bought it, I slammed it front and rear, so it's as low as I can get it without chopping something and actually making it lower. And its frame's literally maybe 2 3/4 inches off the ground. I have zero fucking lean angle.
Yeah.
Like, my floorboard's turned into plow disc. I mean, I just rip shit up with them. And then I've run 18-inch Carlini Gangster Apes on it for 80,000 miles. And just, I was getting ready to do this trip to California. I bought a bunch of parts from somebody, and in all these parts were this pair of brand new 12-inch West Coast T-bars. Mm-hmm. And I thought, man, I'm about to do this long-ass trip. I'm going to be all by myself. I'm really trying to – my goal was literally to make it one shot. I was going to do a nonstop ride all the way to Michigan or to Minnesota. But if anybody followed me on that ride, like on my Instagram, I had a fuckload of problems.
Which route did you go, like up through Chicago or like past it?
No, I left out of here. I went straight north to Oklahoma City. Then I want to say to like
Tulsa.
Wichita, Kansas City. No, I didn't go over to Tulsa.
Oh, okay.
I went all the way up to Wichita.
And then cut over, huh?
Yeah, and then cut over to Kansas City.
You go to like Omaha
And then-
and all that shit?
Yep, yeah, and then I cut north. I kind of like, I guess I went east a little bit from Kansas City and then went up north because like I had a Kansas City. I went north up into
Iowa?
oh shit, yep, into Iowa, and then kind of cut over east a little more, and then went just straight north after that. Just
How far did you make it that
buried
first
the
day?
hammer. Well, the first day, the day before, weather said it was beautiful. Everything's gonna be great. Woke up that morning, sky looked great. These birds are flying around. Fuck yeah, man, it's gonna be a great ride, you know. Like,
Yeah.
I left out before the sun up. I'm tearing ass. I'm in Oklahoma. I watched the sunrise. I'm making these Instagram stories about this beautiful sunrise in Oklahoma. Everything's cool. And it's about like 9:30, and I come over this hill. It's right before Oklahoma City. I come over this hill, and it's just fucking black. I'm like, oh shit. So I pull into this gas station. Well, I need to get gas anyways, and I can stop and check out the weather and see what's going to be going on. And as I'm pumping gas, this like oil and gas dude, you know, he's in his service truck. He pulls up and says, it's an older dude. He says, son, I don't know where you're going, but you better fucking get there. And I was like, is it that bad? And he's like, well, I just come out of Oklahoma City. And he's like, it's hail and just tons of lightning. He's like, it come out of nowhere. It wasn't supposed to rain today. It just popped up.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, shit. And I'm heading straight towards, you know, Oklahoma City.
Oh,
So-
you hadn't even made it to Oklahoma City
Yeah, I'm
yet.
not even in Oklahoma City yet.
Yeah.
So, because when I left out that morning, man, I was just taking it slow and easy, you know. I'll wait till the sun's up, everything's cool, you know, and then when I get past Oklahoma City, then I'll get myself lined out and be tearing ass, and I'll make a good
Yeah.
ride of it, you know. So, anyways, I get my gas, come out, see it, look at the weather. I'm like, I think I can make it to Oklahoma City. And I got some friends that I've served with in Oklahoma City. So I
Yeah.
thought, man, if I get to Oklahoma City, I'll be all right. So, and I'm maybe, I'd say, sub-hour from Oklahoma City.
So you're kind of, you passed Turner Falls area, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just past it.
So you just came down those hills, basically.
Mm-hmm. And so I fill my bike up. I pull back out on the, I want to say that's 35 North. And man, no sooner than I like get back on the interstate, I start seeing raindrops hitting my hitting my windscreen on my helmet, hit my face shield. And so I'm like, oh, well, you know, rain sucks, but whatever, I'm good.
It is what it is.
And I just keep powering. And I make it like 2 more exits, and then off in the distance I see lightning, and I'm like, nope, that's where the party stops. You know, I'm done. So I power up to the next exit, go under this overpass, and then from there, like pretty much the whole rest of the day was just battling lightning storms. So I'd sit under that overpass for like an hour, and that one would clear, and I'd get on my bike and haul ass until I hit the next patch.
Damn.
And like I was trying to shoot these
What time of year was
shooting
this?
these little gaps in these patches. The first weekend of September.
That's weird. Yeah, usually with the times I go to Sturgis and I have to take that route, it's always like a shit show. I always get caught in rain between Oklahoma City and Wichita.
Yeah.
And there's not a whole lot of shit in between there. You know what I mean? Like, especially once you get into Kansas, you're on that toll road all the way from the border of Kansas till Wichita.
Yeah.
Man, I'm always chasing, like, trying to dodge storms and shit. And then once you get out of Kansas, it's pretty legit. But fucking,
I battled these lightning storms, like these little gaps, up. And each time I maybe would make it like a fucking mile. I would barely make it any. You know, I'd be looking at the radar thinking like, oh, I've got this big gap. And I'd go to like launch the gap. And no sooner than I get out on the road, I just realized like, man, I'm not getting nowhere, you know. So
yeah.
I'd back under an overpass. One overpass, I literally I was just stuck in this huge red cell on my phone. Just blood red all around me. And I sat under that overpass for almost a full 3 hours, stuck under there, just lightning, you know. And so I just sat under there making funny videos until my phone almost died, and I plugged it into my bike, let it recharge.
It's got to be sketchy though. Like, you're in like the fucking the biggest tornado alley there is, and it's like, you know, you're just on a bike. Fuck it. See, what happened is, like, me and my brother, when we came back from Sturgis the year that he went, we were coming from Wichita, and we kept getting caught in rainstorms, but it was nighttime, so you couldn't really see.
Oh, what you were getting into?
Yeah, so like you could see lightning here and there or whatever, but you couldn't tell if there was a tornado fucking about to cross the highway. And you know, we just assumed that tornadoes are like rainstorms up in Oklahoma and Kansas. So it's like, you know, I'm kind of chill, but he's freaking the fuck out. and we ended up making it, but we were like dodging rain, the kind of the same way you're talking about. The rain's fine, but it's like you don't want to just like push yourself into like some rain that you can't really stabilize the bike in, that fucking sideways, that bullshit. So I don't know. It's a mess going through that shit. But
for me, dude, I feel like I cursed my bike. I know shit, man. I feel like I cursed my bike when I went away from like that just OG gangster ass look.
Yeah.
When I got it, I fucking slammed it. I blacked out most everything because this was 8 years ago before Murdered Out was murdered the fuck out.
Yeah.
And now just everything's murdered.
Yeah.
And it's just Rust-Oleum fucking black everything.
Now that everything,
I hate it so much because I'm going to make this statement. It's going to sound like I've made six figures, but I've made a lot of money on murdering out bikes.
Yeah.
But I fucking hate it so much. Like,
well, it's got to be hard now
man.
when everything's coming out of the factory black. It's almost like, what do you do when someone wants to do a chrome job nowadays? Like, it's hard to find chromers nowadays.
So fucking expensive.
Yeah.
If you find a good chromer, which there's hardly no chromers in DFW, so now I have to outsource it and send it out somewhere. Mm-hmm. A customer came to me, wanted to have some fork legs chromed. Mm-hmm. I sent him to a guy who I didn't have any experience with, but who came recommended to me. And I'm from a hot rod shop that has built some amazing cars. And he went there and had a fucking terrible experience with it. So it's just, I don't know a good chromer in DFW. I'm not saying that there aren't any. I'm just saying I don't fucking know.
Well, Texas has never really had any of the, like, back in the day when chrome, we used to chrome a lot of things. We would either send it to Tennessee, California, and if it was like little bullshit stuff that wasn't like a large piece, there was like Politos here we would use.
But, yeah. So Politos is what that's called. Somebody told me Plutos.
So they would do it, and it wasn't super bad, but like you wouldn't want to do like a sport bike frame or a set of wheels because they would do really shitty polish jobs, and you would see a lot of they would transfer the scratches from the polish into the chrome. And it had a tendency to flake off too in certain spots, like if you had tightened down, a bolt or a brake caliper or some shit. So what I would do a lot is I would just have all the bolts on my bikes chromed whenever I would do them. So I'm not really a big chrome fan, but like that chrome on color pops, little bits. Yeah. So I used to do that a lot, and so to me it wasn't shit to take the bolts over to
I'm
Politos.
A huge fan of polished stainless. I like chrome, but chrome, like as a mechanic, chrome chips. So chrome bolts for me are just problematic. Mm-hmm. If you take your bolts and have them chromed, a lot of times they come back like an Allen won't fucking fit, or something like that, because now you've changed the interferences in it. So now as a mechanic, you kind of fucked yourself, So I like polished stainless, but then you go back to like, it's polished. You got to fucking polish it, Polished stainless will do a little better because it's stainless, but like polished aluminum, like fork legs. I love, like on choppers, I loved shaved fork legs, and I loved that polished aluminum, just raw, like you can still see it's porous aluminum, but it's polished nice and pretty, but damn, you got to stay on top of it, and that's fucking annoying. I was like, I just want to ride this motherfucker. So I get the murdered out, I get blacking them out, and that's why I did it. I got that bike. All I wanted to do was fucking ride it, man. Like in our last podcast, I talked about how I got it, like how, I come into a dealership on my shovel head and I just needed to get points, and then the dealership was like, points, like what you want me to point you at? And I was like no, for my bike, so bought that twin cam 6-speed, rode it all over the country. I mean, like I've done, and I do some long ass solo trips. It's not that I want to be solo. I fucking love riding with people, but it's hard to find people that want to ride like I ride, that want to ride the durations and the distances, and if I pick a destination, like I just want to fucking get there. I know I'm going to miss a lot of cool shit between here and there. Yeah. But like I picked there and that's where the fuck I'm going, so.
There's also that aspect that like, when you go on these rides, like say you're a business, you're self-employed. So like if you decide at, a week's notice, like, what, fuck it, I'm going to this place.
Yeah.
You can kind of do that. Everybody else is like, oh man, got to ask my boss, got to get someone to cover for me, all that shit. And I get that. But like, if you're going to go with people, it's like what we do when we do our trips that we do with friends. It's like it's a long planned out deal. Dude, when we planned out our Sturgis trip, we had people all in here. We were using the TV. We had the MapQuest up there. We were like, so where you want to go? Like, because me and my boys, we decided, instead of doing Cali this year, we're going to do Sturgis and then continue west out of Sturgis. So we'll spend the first week in Sturgis, And then the next week is going to be like a big loop out through Yellowstone, Montana, Colorado, and back. Dude, we're sitting here. We're looking at we got 14 days, and we talked ourselves into 16 days. Next thing you know, we're in Vancouver on the maps up here. We're in fucking Oregon.
You got a 3-month trip planned. Like, motherfuckers are cashing 401ks just to go.
Yeah, so
trip.
like it got really out of hand until like it started getting stressful. Like I started having anxiety because I was like, I wanted to do these parts so bad that we were looking at on the map, but it was just so not the trip for it. Like if we didn't go to Sturgis, then yeah, we could have done like all the way up and down. But having Sturgis, even for the 4 days we were planning on being there, was making it impossible.
The thing is, dude, like, so I'll go ride with people and people get butthurt, like, oh, they want to stop and see stuff along the way. Like, I literally traversed from Texas to northern Minnesota. You know, I didn't stop for shit except for breakdowns and gas. And
How long did that trip make?
I didn't have any mechanical breakdowns. I did it in 2 days.
Okay.
I did it in 2 days by myself, and really, well, I did it in a day and a half. If you like, just look at ride time, I did it in a day and a half.
Yeah.
So lightning storms all the way to North Oklahoma City, and I was like on the north side of Oklahoma City, and this is where I talk about I cursed my bike. Mm-hmm. My bike's been the exact same for 80,000 fucking miles. Coast to coast, border to border. I've done some wild ass trips on this bike. 18-inch ape hangers completely slammed. Like I shaved all the foam damn near out of the seat. Like, I mean, just looked like I'm on a fucking parasail. Just and I rode it everywhere. No problems. It's done flawlessly. I take it, put T-bars on it. Like I raised the rear up maybe 3/4 of an inch just to give me a little bit of travel, because when I completely slammed it, I put it on the bump stop. So the way a Softail works, like your swing arm's like in a triangle and it'll come forward, and it's got a bump stop where it hits the mainframe, you know.
Yeah,
so
on the
like,
top side?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like I literally just buried it. So when I hit a bump, the only suspension I have is just when the swing arm goes like free play and then slams back. And it's been like over 80,000 fucking miles. So I thought, well, you know, I bought this $5 progressive shock 80,000 miles ago, and it's never actually worked.
Yeah.
You know, like it's never had any load on it. So I put a little load on it and had a little squish to it. I thought, oh, all right, this will be cool. Like I'll tear ass. Like this will be good.
Yeah.
T-bars on it. Jumped on, like, you know, so I'm a shop. So, you know, get dealer costs. I thought, you know what, man, like I should review parts.
Yeah.
Like I'll buy some cool shit. I'll go beat the fuck out of it and then come back and I can say like, hey, these bags are awesome. Buy them and put them on any bike, or these bars are awesome, or this is all, you know what I mean? So
that's a good point to be made, man, because I wholeheartily believe that to be a good shop to recommend products, you got to be a rider.
Exactly.
You know, like there's a lot of people that you know, that are big name shops, and I don't want to take anything away from them, but like it's a sacrifice that you got to make as a shop to stay active on a motorcycle, to be relevant with your opinions about the products. You can't be telling everybody, oh, this shock ride's great. It does so good whenever I go test ride this bike around the block.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm always super, super clear, which anybody that follows me on you know, social medias or knows me very well knows, like, I literally am more transparent than that fucking empty Corona bottle.
Yeah.
Like, I don't hide shit from nobody. I ain't embarrassed of nothing or ashamed of nothing. If you don't like it, fuck you, fight me. You know, it's like that. And I don't expect to win, but I promise we're going to get sweaty. Like, it ain't going to be a quick event.
Yeah.
So, all that being said, though, is like, you know, somebody comes to me and says, hey, you know, what suspension do I get? Man, this is the suspension everybody says is great. And this is the suspension that when I've mounted it before, it mounted like shit, or it come with junk hardware, or this or that. Like, I can't tell you because my bike's a hardtail. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, I genuinely can't, but I'm always super transparent about that.
Yeah.
And as like a lot of times, a guy will come to me and have like 2 or 3 different companies I want, you know, or that he wants, you know, hey, I'm looking at these 3 different companies. Okay, well, this one is the most expensive and it has great reviews. This one, you know, is second most expensive, and people say that they like it, but when I mount it, you know, it has this problem or that problem, or, you know, I just give them what my shop experience is, you know, for instance, on that particular part. And a lot of times that in itself will clarify it for them. They're like, oh, well, that one comes with shitty hardware. Well, I'm not going to buy that one. Or that, you know, this one has this or that. You know,
sometimes, I mean, also
with
you being a shop, you can tell them like, yo, like this company is a pain in the ass to deal with.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that's one of the things that people don't
100%.
get when they buy stuff online, is it like you when you go, like, there's got to be something sacred about like going to a shop, talking to your mechanic, your builder, and getting his advice, because he is supposed to be the writer that you're trusting his vision of parts, his opinions about parts.
Yeah.
That's why, like, you know, like yourself and Mark and those guys like that get out and ride bikes and haul ass can tell you, like, you know what, that fucking suspension worked great for me. You know what I mean? So like, the way I ride, it does good shit. The way you ride, it should be fine. But if you're trying to go do more crazy shit, then maybe you'll look into this one. I haven't have personal experience with it.
Yeah.
But it's something if I was going to do what you do, I'd probably go this route. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, that's got to mean something. You know?
And so, like, I wanted to get into I had this heart of wanting to get into reviewing, like, products, if you will, buy products. So my goal with this trip to Canada, when I bought all this shit, was, sorry, I keep covering my mouth because I feel like I'm a burp, but I don't like do it on the microphone. I don't want to be a rude ass. I bought these products and I thought, you know what, man, like, I could get something going with this. I'll buy a product at dealer cost.
Yeah.
So I'm getting a good deal on it. I'll take it. I'll use it. I'll have some actual fucking real opinion of it for my customers. And if it's garbage, hey, that's a write-off as a business, and it's fucking garbage. And I know, number one, don't sell that to my customers. Don't put my shop name associated with that garbage.
Yeah.
And then two, is throw it in the fucking trash because it's garbage. And then on the other hand of that, if something was great, if it was so great, I'll keep it. If it was good and I have a good opinion of it, but I don't necessarily need it or want to keep it, well, then I'll just turn around and sell it for whatever my dealer cost is.
Yeah.
Like, it's barely used. I didn't lose any money, and you still got it cheaper than retail. Was my theory with it. So I got all these different products to take on this trip. And it was like, I don't know if I just didn't do enough fucking research or just a string of bad luck, but it was like damn near every new product that I took with me failed in some kind of fucking way on the trip. So I was like, by the time I came back, I was like, yep, fuck all this. Fuck all of it. Just, you know, like, you don't need none of this shit. Just ride your motorcycle. So I got north of Oklahoma City, and I had these Karaoke like throw over bags that were supposed to, they had like a main center strap, and then you could detach either side, you know? So anyways, I barely had anything in them. Like, I only went from DFW to Oklahoma City, and one just comes off going down 35.
Holy
you know,
shit.
like, I'm spruising, and this car's beside me honking their horn and waving at me, and they're like pointing, and I look down, and my fucking bag's gone. I'm like, oh shit. I look back, and there's cars all swerving around it, you know? So I pull over, run back, get it, come back, and like, it's destroyed.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, fuck. I posted on Instagram, and I had to go back and look now. I feel like an ass, but I don't remember the guy's name. There's a dude in Oklahoma City who hit me up and was like, hey, man, I'm at work, but I can come get you, or if you're mobile, I can get you hooked up with like the right people. So he sends me to this leather shop, tells me like the girl to ask for and everything. I get to the leather shop, and the girl's like, hey, come in real quick and pick what bag you want. And I was like, no, these are brand new bags. I don't want to pick a bag. Can you fix mine? Like, it had a zipper. Zipper's fucking gone. It's somewhere on 35. Can you just sew this shit together? I don't want them to detach anymore. I want, like, real deal, throw over, like, cowboy style fucking saddlebags. And she was like, well, I can, but some guy already bought you saddlebags. I'm like, say what? And she's like, yeah. Some guy called and said you were going to be coming to expect you in the next 30 minutes, and you could pick which bag you wanted. And like, I got his credit card number, and I was like, nah, that's awesome. And I really appreciate that. But I'm just like, it's
tough. It's tough taking gifts like that.
I don't got it in me.
Yeah.
Like, not that it would have ruined my trip, but I just spent the whole trip thinking, like, I got to find this guy. I got to pay him. How do I?
I know what you mean.
I would have been so stuck in my head until, like, I met him, shook his hand, like, gave him money, a hug, fucking something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But so I just told her, I was like, hey, like, don't charge that fucking card. Like, I will pay you. I will fix my bag. That guy did me more than enough justice just telling me where I needed to go to save my ass at the moment. Like, to just get me back on the road. So now, mind you, I've been riding in the rain this whole time.
So it's
So
soaked.
I'm fucking soaked. So I
And
get
it's
that.
September, so you're fucking probably
Well,
stinking too, huh?
Yeah. I thought you were about to say something about cold. I was like, nah, it was still fucking hot.
Yeah. Got a nice little film building on you, huh?
Right. So while they're sewing my bag, she's like, well, you got to take everything out of your bags, so I can sew them. So, okay, cool. I said, well, I don't want to do this in the middle of your showroom floor. Where do you want me to do this at? She was like, oh, it's cool. Go in the back. She's like, if you want to dry, she's like, we actually have a washer and dryer back there. So it was great, man. I got to wash my clothes, dry my clothes. Like I was literally just went in the bathroom, like the employee bathroom in the back. I went in there, stripped down butt naked to my skippies. Was washing and drying my clothes, and I just sat in the bathroom and played on my phone while my clothes dried and all. So by the time I left there, like I was in clean, dry clothes. My bag was fixed. Like, all right, we're gonna get through this. Everything's gonna be cool. I leave out of there. I make it through Wichita. I get into an area called Flint Hills, Kansas, which is beautiful. But at this point, I'm supposed to be way past Flint Hills, way past Flint Hills. It's starting to get dark now, and I'm going through Flint Hills, Kansas. No sooner than I see the first sign for Flint Hills, and I'm really getting into these rolling hills, it starts fucking raining again. I'm like, you gotta be shitting me. So I get soaking wet again. Now it's getting dark. I'm getting a little chill about me. My mind is pretty defeated at this point.
Yeah.
My days just kind of beat me down. And I come over this hill, and there's 3 deers crossing the road. And I was like, nope. This is where Justin stops right here. I just did this whole day has officially beat me.
That's a good track though. Getting past Wichita. You know what I mean?
And that was with all my struggles. But
Yeah.
that was literally left home at dark and stopped at dark, and I was only in Flint Hills, Kansas.
It's sketchy driving around.
Now I get it. That's still a good haul. And this isn't meant with no arrogance, but I've done way fucking more than that in a period of daylight. Way fucking more than that.
Yeah.
So I was pissed as hell.
Dude, that was, like I said, back to that Sturgis trip I took with Jesse when we left here. Mind you, we got hammered with rain leaving DFW for Sturgis in 2017. And the goal was to make it to at least Denver or further, which is about close to 1,000 miles.
Yeah.
Actually, it's about 800 something miles. That way we didn't have to ride 600 miles the next day to Sturgis. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sure enough, man, he fucking bitched out. He was like, we got to fucking New Mexico. We were in Raton. He's like, I can't go anymore, bro. I'm scared of the mountains. And I'm like, dude, there's no fucking way we're stopping here and I'm riding from here to Sturgis tomorrow. So you need to get on your bike. We made it to Colorado Springs.
Okay, well that's not terrible.
It's a good haul. I give him credit. You understand, he's my brother.
Especially that was his first trip too, big trip.
It's just I wish I had someone to push me as hard as I pushed him, because he's done some amazing shit on a bike that a lot of people haven't even done yet. You know what I mean? I say that, but he's 25 now, so he's a normal adult now. Yeah. There's no more oh, he's young. No, he's fucking 25, dude. He's fully developed.
yeah.
Stop giving him that shit.
He's a grown ass man. Everybody sees him as your little brother, but it's no. Jesse's a grown ass man.
How was the rest of that trip? Did you end up getting there pretty smooth that second day or what?
Well, so I'm in Flint Hills, and if anybody's been through Flint Hills, there ain't much of fucking nothing. About halfway through, there's a truck stop dead in the middle of 35. So it's typically truck stops are on one side or the other. Yeah. But the truck stop there is in between. Oh yeah,
they do them in the middle.
In the middle. It's kind of weird. So I knew that was there, and I was trying like hell to make it to that center truck stop. And I couldn't. I come over a hill, and I seen there was this random lone water tower, and it had this little puny light off of it, and there were 3 semi trucks parked right there, and I was like, fuck it, that's where I'm going. And mind you, it's raining pretty good at this point. Mm-hmm. It's getting down.
Is this still the first day or the second day?
It's still first day. It's still day one.
Okay.
So I pull in where these semis are. I weave between these semis, and I park my bike up against the water tower. So I put my legs under my bike so that when I fall asleep, if my bike moves, it'll wake me up. And I'm leaned up against the water tower, thinking the bulb of the water tower is going to keep me dry. So I'm sitting there, I just start to fall asleep, and I'm sitting in the fucking mud, which I'm soaking wet anyway, so it doesn't fucking matter at this point. Yeah. I just got my jacket on, and I'm curled up sleeping like this, and all of a sudden the water's running down the water tower, and I didn't even think about this part, how it's just running down it. And it puddled up in my hoodie, and started to run down my back. And I was just like, this is it. God hates me. Like, it's official. Like, I no longer have to worry. He hates me, So I sit up and I wind up falling asleep. Like, you remember, like in class, you fall asleep on your hands like this.
Yeah.
So that's how I sat with my legs Indian style and fell asleep with my arms like this. So I woke up maybe like 3-4 hours later, legs completely fucking numb. I got Bambi legs, can't do shit. And I'd woke up to one of the semi trucks was leaving out. I thought, well, if the semi driver's getting on the road, like I probably should too. Had a little nap. I'm fresh. So I just tucked in behind the semi. So, like, man, like, I don't got to worry about deers or nothing because he's a giant bulldozer. So I just rode behind this semi until I made it to that truck stop. Went in that truck stop, got like a Monster and a Snickers bar, and just kind of like got myself, together. I hung out there for like 45 minutes, maybe an hour plus, and I could see like that orange line where like the sun was going to come up soon. So I was like, all right, cool. Sun's coming. Like, I'm going to power on now. So I jumped on the road and just tore ass. And then I went from there all the way up. And so day 2 was good, and like I'm blazing, everything's cool, like no rain. I get dried off. I ride a few hours nice and dry, like bike's running great, everything's cool. I've got the saddlebag issue fixed, like everything's rolling and going good. And I get up into Iowa, and damn if it don't start raining again. And the last, like, I'd say probably 3 hours of my trip on day 2, I was in the fucking rain. So when I finally got to the campground that we were at, I was like, I pull in, stop, I get off the bike, I'm like, this is it. Like, I've made it, and I don't even want to fucking be here. I just want to go home. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I got so beat up on the way there. And you know, I put a lot of pride in talking about, how many hundreds of thousands of miles I've been able to ride on all these different bikes, up until I got my own shop, like literally every year, it was easy to put 25 to 35,000 miles down every fucking year. But for years, I didn't have a vehicle. All I had was a motorcycle. So it's easy to rack miles up when you just live on the damn thing. Yeah,
you got like 6,000 miles in trips and 20,000 miles in
and then like there's a couple periods of life between military to now that like I had a few nomadic stages where like I just get on that motherfucker and go. I didn't have a home. I'd ride till I found somebody that's willing to host me for a little bit, So I just lived off the bike for a while. So I mean, I've been able to live some cool adventures off my motorcycle, and that's where one of my biggest loves for it comes from, But I kind of squirreled on where I was going with that.
Does it like going through that hell of a ride in all the rain and all the bullshit? Does that not like make that first beer you get at the campground like the best beer you've ever had, or seeing your buddies and shit? Like,
well, it's like, have you ever done like any endurance racing? No, I don't mean like on
sexual.
Foot. My man.
I never last. Though.
Good for you. Hey man, first one to finish wins. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So growing up racing motocross, I started doing hare scrambles. Like I got out of motocross because it got boring for a little while for me, and I started doing hare scrambles. So I raced the GNCC series and was racing these hare and hound races and shit like that. So those endurance races, like, a few laps in to, a 9-15 mile lap, you're like, I'm fucking tired. I just want this to be over. I don't know what place I'm in anymore. I don't this fucking motorcycle is gonna blow up any minute. Like I think my knee is broke. Like I don't, you're defeated. So when you cross the finish line, you're just fucking stoked you made it. Like I fucking finished it. So it was like when I got there, like I was excited to see my brothers. These are all guys that I went to war with. So there's a very unique bond with those guys.
For sure, yeah.
Even if there's somebody that like you're not like alike, you still have this super unique bond where it's like you're just fucking stoked to see
that's
them.
what we talked about that last time you were on, where you being from Kentucky,
it's a little different.
Yeah, it's different. Like, oh, is that a black guy over there?
Yeah.
So yeah, I get that, man. It's different, but like. We say that in general, like just in general, like riding bikes. Like if you really step back and look at like the circle of friends you make in your little clique of bike guys, just your local guys that you ride with or you kick it with, and you start finding out what they do for a living or what they like to do for fun other than bikes, you're like,
Yeah.
I'd never fucking hang out with this nerd. You know what I mean?
It's so
But
true.
yet you like, you know, you end up like pushing past those surface layers of what defines people, and you get to know them as a person. Like, fuck, man, this dude's actually pretty cool. And I think that's what happens with military. It happens way more way deeper with military because you peel back a bunch of layers to get to know each other. Motorcycling, you know, is probably the closest thing I would think that's like that, or any kind
It
of
is,
like,
man. The motorcycle community is really unique in that sense of how you can meet a guy and have nothing in common with this motherfucker but riding.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, like, you two grow to be best friends, you know. I've got a guy who, man, oddly enough, he's my neighbor and was my neighbor for a long time. We never even spoke. And then he become a customer. And then through, like, being a customer, he's around the shop more. And, like, we're polar fucking opposite people. But we've grown to be close as hell.
yeah.
You know, like, just because, like, essentially through motorcycles, we found, you know, being able to connect and just realizing, like, hey, you like video games and I like, you know, hunting and fishing. But
Yeah.
we have somewhere in this found this, like, we both love motorcycles and that's fucking cool. And that's just all we're worried about are these motorcycles.
Well,
Yeah.
at the same time, like if you know, it's kind of like the we're talking like dating games for biker friends, but you know, like the idea is that like you meet people, and at first you're like looking for all the people that is closely to who you think you fuck with, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I fuck with this dude. He looks like he, you know, is like me. But when you start hanging out with a lot of people like you fucking don't really click with them that well. Like you need to be you, and you need that guy to be that guy, and then you know what I mean. Like you start to
you referenced the dating game thing, but it's fucking true. Like my marriage, opposites attract. Me and my wife are fucking polar opposite individuals. We really are.
Yeah.
But we're madly in love. You know, so I mean, I get the differences in the whole bike thing. For me, the triumph in that trip to Canada is and I say to Canada,
near.
Yeah, damn near. When I left the campground, I actually went further north up to the border and back, but I never went. I originally told myself when I did all this, I was going to ride from DFW to El Paso to the border, and then from El Paso up and then back down, so I could truly say border to border. But like workload and this and that, I mean, it's still a hike from here to El Paso and back. So it's
that's
like
actually the smartest way to do border to border.
100%.
Yeah.
Like I did my due diligence on how can
And that's probably the most scenic direction too, going 25 north.
How can I do this and make the trip all work and cool and truly be like took a picture of Mexico, took a picture of Canada, you know, which, you know, I've done it before in different, you know, areas, but from here, that was like my goal. Didn't work out, didn't get to do it, had to leave out of DFW because my workload pushed me too close to making it to the actual camping event. But the triumph, like I said, like when I got there, it was just like, oh, fuck, man, I actually made it. Because so many times, and this was one of the first trips that like truly along the way, like I was just, I questioned, man, do I really want to go to this? Like, goddamn, like are all these, I'm a huge proponent of paying attention to what's going on in the world around you. Like I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm so religious. Like I'm not really religious at all. But I do feel like I'm very spiritual. So like, if the world's talking to you, man, you motherfucker, you better listen. You know, all the signs are pointing this way, and your dumb ass goes that way. Don't be pissed when something happens. You know, so I really, along the way, I was like, man, is something telling me don't do this, don't go, or am I just getting mud checked by life? Like, is the universe just mud checking me right now? Like, hey, like, do you still got some heart? Like, do you still love this motorcycle shit? Like, where you at, buddy? You know, you've been you've been off this bike and buried in the shop for a while. Like, where you at? Where's your heart at? So I just took it as a, man, I'm getting mud checked. And I had some good brothers that couldn't make the trip, that were at home watching the trip on Instagram essentially and seeing the storms and the breakdown. And they were just like, go. Don't stop, motherfucker. Go. Like, all right, I'm going. You know, so I went, I was super triumphant getting there. Left there, went further north. Then turned around and made my run back to DFW. My run back to DFW, flawless. Like my trip home, flawless. Everything went beautiful.
I think you had to earn it, man. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, and I truly do, man. I truly felt like the road was just making me earn it. But, and I made a big long post.
If you would have turned around though, or you know what I mean? If it would have got tough and you turned around, I did this at Pikes Peak. I hate myself for it. you got to finish it, even if it sucks. Even if you're it's like all the signs are pointing the opposite direction, man. If you go through with it, then you don't ever like. People talk about that like living with regret shit, which I don't want to get like super like motivational poster at HR room kind of thing for you.
That shit has relevance though, man.
It does have relevance, but it doesn't have relevance until you actually are in that point where you're like, okay, I don't want to do this, but all my friends are doing it. It looks like it'd be fun to jump off this cliff right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, gotcha.
You know what I mean? Like what I said, we were going to Pikes Peak last year, and I freaked the fuck out, dude. Like, it was windy. I'm on a big-ass bagger. Got all my shit on me. And we started getting to the part of Pikes Peak where it's just like a road and sky on the side. Yeah. And I'm like, damn, I can't see trees or grass. I can't see nothing but, like, clouds. And the wind's blowing hard, and I'm going like 5 miles an hour because it's a fucking line to get to the top and like buses and shit. And I'm like, come on, let's do this. Like if I just ripped up, it would have been fine. But just all that time to be stuck in my head, I was like, I'm done. This right here is good. I can see the sky. It's good.
Yeah.
It's the same as the top. It's just right here. But then after it was all said and done, the rest, like me and like 2 other dudes, like chilled. And the other dudes went to the top, and I completely regretted it. Not to the point where I was mad, but I was just like, man, like I should have just figured out my bitch assness for the moment, worked through it, and did it. Yeah. Because then I'd be like, you know what? Yeah, it still would have been kind of a story to tell. Now it's like a story to tell that has no like happy ending. You know what I mean?
Man, I mean it. I don't know. This is going. This for me will get deep, and I love. This is no pun intended, but I love getting deep.
I mean, I try.
Yeah. So my big triumph on that trip, though, was anybody that knows me knows that, I previously, battled with some different addictions. And that trip was my first trip that many miles all by myself, every single mile, completely sober. I didn't drink a beer. I didn't fucking bump rails off my gas tank. I didn't crush Adderalls and chew them shits while riding down the road. I didn't drink, and I'd said that second morning when I went to the truck stop, I got a Monster and a Snickers. I got a Mountain Dew Baja Blast, the red ones, and a king size Snickers bar, and I really. Like for the next 3 hours, I was really pissed at myself that I got that Mountain Dew because I told myself like I wanted to do this like 100% all natural. Like I was just going to drink water and eat some good healthy snacks the whole way. But like that morning, I was just so tired, so defeated. I was like, I got to have caffeine. Yeah. Like a little sugar and some caffeine. So I had a Mountain Dew and a Snickers bar. But that whole trip, there was I say the whole trip. While I was up there partying, I drank some. But like the riding, the pushing myself on the bike, 100% sober. Yeah. So for me, like, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I promote, drunk driving or anything like that. But like when you're on these long trips and it's fucking hot and you stop at a gas station, you're going to be off the bike for 15, 20 minutes to get some blood back in your butt cheeks. Like a cold beer is fucking nice.
Yeah, it is nice.
Drink a roadie with your buddy on the side of the road. Maybe it's raining and you get stuck under an overpass and he's got a lefty. That's a great place to sit and burn one. Yeah. Why not enjoy your fucking self?
Well, I thought you were a biker, so
it's life.
Bikers do
live
cool
the
shit.
Fucking adventure. You know what I mean? Like my Softail wouldn't have that big flat spot on the dash panel for no fucking reason. Like Yeah. Roll that line out there, boy. Let's get it. How fast you want to go again? So there's a reason I tuned my bike up because it needed to be able to keep up with me. I don't need to keep up with it. It's got to keep up with me. Oh shit! So that being said, though, I had a lot of triumph in. I've done some clean rides with some brothers because they know that I battle with that shit and they'll keep me in check. But if I'm by myself, shit. So this one was like when I left home, I told myself like, man, I'm gonna do this, and this is where like the triumph. And you asked me, not necessarily like, was there any regret or anything like? I forget the exact question, but the pushing versus turning around and going home, and me talking about like I felt like life was mud checking me. Like when I left home with this mission of like no energy drinks, no bullshit. Like this ride's gonna be Justin Lee motherfucking Kelly. Period. That's it. Me and this fucking motorcycle, and we're getting it. Fuck everybody, we're getting it. And so that's where I'm like, I almost feel like the first half was like just
come on, dude, man.
The chopper, the chopper gods were like, like how bad do you want it? Yeah, you know what I mean, that kind of thing. And it was like I made it up there, and I fought it, and I did all that. It was the ride home was fucking beautiful. Yeah, couldn't ask for a better ride home. You know, so it's just like, all right, cool. Well,
you earned the ride.
Can't
home,
complain.
Like,
can't complain about that.
Well, at the same time, like I mean, that story is worth telling because it was difficult. You know what I mean? If you would have said like, oh, bro, like, yeah, I rode to fucking Minnesota last year. How was it? It was great.
No, it was not great.
I mean, if it was great, that'd be like, like for some reason, I guess we're all wired to not give two shits about people's life when it's great. Yeah. You know what I mean? But if you're like, oh man, I had some problems, shit was rough.
I don't care who you are. I tell people this all the time. And I mean, I'm just as guilty as anyone else, but people like drama.
True. Yeah.
Reality TV, you like drama. Yeah. I don't know what's.
Did you watch this fucking Joe Exotic shit?
No.
Thank you.
My wife fucking loves tigers. Holy shit balls.
It's got tigers in it, motherfucker.
Yeah. So we're on Netflix and she's like, yo, a tiger TV show. Cool, turn it on. We turn it on, and like literally in the first 15 minutes, this dude's on there talking, and he kind of talks like this, Yeah. And my wife's like, I can't. I don't know who this motherfucker is. I can't listen to him anymore. Yeah. And so we turned it off and wound up watching, like, I don't know, who the fuck knows. And this, weeks later, the internet's just blowing up about this guy. Me and my wife are like, what what did we miss? Like, what did we miss out on? Like, this seems like there's so much gold in there, but we haven't watched it now.
Dude, don't watch it. Don't be a follower. I don't know. Like, there's something about, like, I've been saying it quite a bit. I don't mean to beat people's head in with this thing, but like, there's just nothing entertaining to me about watching some shit show of a person, go through life making shit show decisions. You know what I mean? Yeah. It just airbrush compressor. Sorry.
No, you're good.
So when I see people like that show and all that shit going crazy, like I came home late. My wife was watching it, and I was like, came in and sat on the couch just seeing how it was. And like, I caught the glimpse where, if you haven't seen it, which I haven't seen any of it except for this one part where he like decided to run for office. This dude's a shit show of a human being and decides that like, I want to go be in a fucking whatever. He's in Oklahoma. He's gay. He's like trying to crack jokes.
Not Florida.
Yeah, he's in Oklahoma. Yeah.
So who's in Florida? The Carol fucking Baskin?
Yeah, that chick. And what's crazy? I only saw like 20 minutes of one episode, but because of memes in that episode, I know the whole story, I feel like.
Dude, legitimately, I haven't watched more than the first 8 minutes, right? No bullshit. As soon as he started talking, my wife was like, oh, he talks through his nose. Like, we can't, no. Yeah. And I'm the same way. Like, it's not to have that against anybody. I feel like I'm an asshole for saying that. But if you're sitting at home, it's like, nah, that's going to wear on me. Like, I can't sit and watch this whole show. Yeah, I know what you mean. And I'm like you, like, man, I come from an area where there's plenty of
My biggest question though is when you watch a show like that, like all the crime TV shows. I know it's probably the most popular thing in the world. Crime TV shows, like To Make a Murder, all this shit. When those shows are over, are you motivated to do anything in life? Are you literally motivated for anything? Like, what I love about movies and cinematography and all this fucking shit is you go watch a good movie and you come out of that movie like, fuck, man, like, I'm amped. I want to do something. You watch these fucking shows and you're just like, man, fucking people are crazy, man. Like you're not motivated to do anything. And as like, to me, anything, TV shows, documentaries, music, it's supposed to be motivating to you to watch it. 100%. That's what it means more. But now we're in a culture, in my opinion, where people just want to see who's the biggest shit show, right? And maybe it was like Jackass's fault, right? Because I'll be honest, I love that shit. I love those old CKY videos, all that shit. But
that's another thing. I never got into those.
it was just part of like skateboard culture back in the day. But like going forward, if that shit came out, like I don't really want to watch people do stupid shit, because what it does is I sound like a fucking dad right now and shit. What it does is it inspires.
You rocking them New Balances right now?
Yeah, I know, right? I feel like I am. Got a really good posture right now. But like, you end up like seeing a lot of people start becoming guys like Joe Exotic, because you said it in the beginning about the videos with the narcissistic. However you finish that word in the tense I'm trying to say it.
No, you're good.
But like, you see people start doubling down on that kind of mentality, because they're looking for the fame and not so much looking for the quality of being a human being that's you know what I mean? That's somebody. You know what I mean?
People become so attention driven.
For sure, man. It's fucking it's
and
gross.
like, man, attention, in my opinion, attention's like one of the most addictive drugs in the fucking world. I mean, it's what drives social media.
For sure, yeah.
I mean, it's hell. I'd be a lying SOB if I sit here and said I wasn't addicted to it. Like, as a business.
Let me ask you a tough question.
Granted, like,
once you finish, go ahead.
It was like, I want the attention because as a business, the attention is essentially equated to monetary. You know, so like more attention, more positive attention. In theory, with good business, is going to be more money.
Yeah, for sure, it is.
But yeah, before I rabbit hole on that, what's your question?
Do you feel like sometimes it's easier to have a conversation with people through a live chat than people that are closest to you in life? At times, you know what I mean? Like, say family, right? Like,
it's always hard to talk to family.
Yeah,
always hard to talk to family because, and I say family. For me, I'm gonna say this just to clarify. For me, family is based on your fucking loyalty.
Yeah,
blood to me, like, and you can take this however the fuck you want, but blood is just another, substance on the chemical chart. Like, that's just Not that it doesn't mean anything to me, but it doesn't fucking mean anything to me. Yeah. I got too many motherfuckers with my blood that are useless pieces of shit.
Yeah.
And then there's, the man who raised me, we have no connection at all. He's one of the best human beings ever come into my life. So, the guy I call my dad, we ain't got no blood.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody in my life ever loved me or put me forward like he has. Never told me he did. Never nothing. We've never had like a lovey relationship. But I almost believe that's how I know that he loves me, because he don't give a shit what my feelings are. He's pushing me to do the right thing.
Yeah.
So it's easy to tell people, people you don't have that connection with, it's easier to talk to them. When you have that connection, we'll say family, like when somebody is, la familia, then I feel like you're so reserved, because you don't, like your wife. It's always hard to open up to your wife. It's supposed to be your best friend, but it's so hard to open up to them because, in my opinion, because you're trying to protect them. So you don't want to tell them this thing that is going to hurt them or piss them off or whatever. And it's like, it's funny we talk about this because, like, literally maybe 4 or 5 days ago, me and my wife had like just started to get irritated about dumb shit in the house, And of course, man. I was about to say, this whole quarantine bit and all this.
We're not designed to like be this close to our significant others.
She was working from home, and like she's back at work now, which things started getting better, oddly enough. Excuse me. But we had started getting cross about things, and then finally we stopped, and I said, "Hey, look, we're gonna talk for 1 hour. We're going to be raw and uncouth. Like, don't say something hurtful to each other. Don't be an asshole to each other.
Yeah.
But, like, don't worry about how I'm going to like it or not. I need you to not give a damn if I'm going to like what you have to say. I need to know what you really think and feel right here, right now, in this very moment." And that's always super freaking hard to do with somebody, somebody you care about. So it's like we from that had kind of implemented, like, all right, hey, from now on, like, don't tell me what you think I want to hear. When I ask you, what you want to do this evening, or when I ask you what you want for your birthday, it's genuine. Tell me. If you say you want a Ferrari, I'm gonna tell you I can't fucking afford one. Yeah. I don't care. I want to know what you want. Like, so, but that's the answer to your question. Is it so much easier? So, like, I feel like I can communicate better with a random customer than I can my wife, but it's because I care about my wife. I don't care about breaking this motherfucker's heart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
well, I would, like, I guess I was thinking, like, sometimes, I get this weird thing. I don't really have a great explanation as to why it bothers me so much, but I got this weird thing that I don't like explaining myself to people. You know what I mean?
all right.
And I know that as an adult, as a man, as a lot of things that I am, father, whatever, I have to do some explaining to certain people. You know what I mean? But to me, I guess if I focus too much on one word, I would say that is it. Is it, to me, it makes me feel like I'm in a defensive state of mind to try to persuade somebody. Like if I'm talking to my wife, or I'm talking to my kids, or I'm talking to my family, and they're asking me questions, and I thought, well, I was planning on doing it this way. I feel like I'm like getting grilled on things. You know what I'm saying? And I get way more defensive, and like I get way more dicky. You know what I mean? And I'm like, look, like every day I wake up, like the thing that sucks is, and I don't know if this works for you or it happens to you, but I work in a business or an industry, or I've made my life fun to me, and I've found a way to make money on it, right? Doing everything I do doesn't always feel like the most fun thing in the world, but when I look at it in hindsight, I'm like, fuck, I'm lucky I'm doing this every day. You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, what happens as a family is that they see it as like, oh, this dude's about to go drink beer and talk to people on a fucking podcast. Like, that's not work. That's not this. Like, this dude's at his shop hanging out with his buddies who work for him and blah, blah, blah. It's like, that's not work. Yeah. This dude's going to Sturgis to ride bikes and doing all this shit. That's not work. It's like, it's the hardest work. It's a very hard work because it's not. It's fucking easy. It's fucking good time. But it's hard. It's hard to maintain it because it never shuts off, right? Like, you don't go to bed, like you don't go home, like your shop is connected to your house, right? Yeah. So like you turn the lights off and go into the house, it's like it's not far enough to be separate. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
literally, I can look out my bedroom window and my shop is just right fucking there.
Come on back.
Yeah.
Come on back.
Yeah, I feel like my front door becomes like a cartoon character. Like, hey, come on now, over here. I'm like, no, not now. Fuck off, man.
She's still awake, dude.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. Like, I'll come back after the baby goes to bed.
Yeah, it's weird, man. It's one I don't get it. I don't understand. Like, I envy guys in a good way, not in a bad way, but I envy people that have found a way to maintain a lifestyle in this industry, doing whatever aspect they do, but maintain a very, very high quality family life. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's really tough because I love my wife to death. I love my kids. I wish that I could do more, but there is some weird thing, and I think it's more social media driven, where every time you feel like you're not on the grind, you feel like you're falling behind on the leaderboards. You know what I mean? And there's this imaginary, this doesn't exist.
Oh, man. Oh, but it does exist. That's the thing. It may not exist to the real world. Yeah. But it exists to me and you. Yeah. Because this is our livelihood. This is my, and I agree so freaking much about how like there's this daunting like sense of I need to stay relevant. Yeah. Excuse me. Oh man, social media is such a. We talked about this last time, but it's such a long, in-depth conversation, and it's always evolving, and it's such a blessing and such a curse. Like, I wouldn't be where I am today if it was not for Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah, me too.
I could have still built all the same shit. I could have still grown and done and learned and all this shit. But I would not be where I am. I would not have the support and the customer base if social media had not been there. 100%. I feel like Instagram and Facebook are now, for our industry, the biker build-off of 2003. Yeah.
The weird thing about like what we were just kind of talking about is like, we were talking about like the support you get from certain people that really truly love your brand. Not just the fact that you wrench, but the fact of all your more motivational things that you do. These dudes, like, they become motivating to you, right?
Yeah.
And it plays a weird struggle, like a tug of war game between like your real life and your family and the shit that they want from you, and then this other world of people that seem to like look at you like you don't do anything wrong, you know, and you're like, well, I don't want to fucking hang out with you when you're like bitching about me about everything, and this dude's like, hey dude, you're awesome, come over to fucking Omaha, let's have some beers, dude. You know what I mean? Like, dude sounds like he's want to have a good time. Like, you're being a little kind of a dicky.
Yeah, you know I only have maybe a little over 2,000 followers on my Instagram. And,
that's all you need, man.
Yeah, and I'm. It's not about the count. I just, in percentage, I would say, I'll play it safe and say in between 30 and 40% of the people that follow and support my shop don't even have a fucking motorcycle.
That's cool.
And at first, I was so fucking confused by that. Like, I didn't get it at all. And as like, actually today, I made a post today about, I got a gift from a woman named Holly in Alaska. And she sent me 2 American flags. These 2 American flags have been flown by the Air Force in like a Predator-style missile drone above Afghanistan.
Nice.
So like, these 2 flags have been flown in a theater of war during a time of war, you know, like, so that, you know, she had these custom made, like really nice authenticated certificate, or these certificates of authentication, I think is how that would be said, of like where the chain of command for that drone had, you know, hey, these were flown on such and such drone, such and such flight time, like time and date, location, pow, pow, pow. And that to me is fucking
That's
huge,
really cool.
man. Like I was like, I wasn't crying in that video. Like, fuck you guys. It was hot yesterday. I was sweaty.
Yeah, you got in your eye. It's
like
salty.
humidity. Shit, you know, it's like dust on the box. Fuck you guys, okay? But this is a random woman I've never fucking met before in my life.
Yeah.
She don't have a motorcycle. It's not like she rode motorcycles and just don't have one right now. Like, she got nothing to do with motorcycles, nothing at all.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, she does have an attachment to the veteran community, which, you know, because I am a veteran, because, you know, like I have, you know, a lot of veteran friends and whatnot. You know, I do have some following base there, I guess. But, you know, I guess she had gone through a hard time in life, and, you know, I try like hell to use my business page and my business in general, not even about the social media shit. I, as a business, because like Hang 'em High Customs is just Justin Lee Kelly with a different fucking name.
Yeah.
That's it. I want to change that.
Yeah.
I want to change that so fucking badly.
Yeah.
But, you know, right now it's like, I will just reference Hang 'em High Customs. As Hang 'em High Customs, I'm trying so hard to, yes, be known for my work.
Yeah.
I don't have a desire for fame. I could give 2 flying fucks about fame. I want to say that I don't give a fuck about the money either, but you have to, because that's how you stay alive. You know, it takes money to buy a can of beans, and it takes a can of beans to stay alive. That's it. It's the cycle. So yeah, I have to be worried about the money. Like, I have to monetize all this shit some kind of way, or I'm wasting my time and I'm gonna starve my family to death.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to do as Hang 'em High Customs is truly breed a community and like a culture. You know what I mean? Like, much like Billy Lane and all the guys of the biker build off era, and how they breeded this like culture of people and motorcyclism, and there's like a specific era around that of like people and things. Like, not that I'm trying to be that, but I just use that as an example of how, like, I'm trying so freaking hard to build Hang 'em High Customs to be more than just a motorcycle shop. Like, that's what I'm always going to be. I'm not saying I want to, you know, knit fucking sweaters. I mean, like, I want I want people to feel like they don't have to have a fucking motorcycle to be associated with Hang 'em High Customs. You know, like I don't.
That's
give
actually cool though. Yeah.
I don't give not that I don't give a fuck about the motorcycle part, because that's where the money comes in, because that's what I do. But I truly want to, like, I want to build a brand, yes. Mm-hmm. But I want to build a culture, man. I want to build a culture of fucking people, of real people, like, well, you can real. And this is in my opinion. This is where I feel like I start sounding like an old man, but like real people in general, and then real men, in my opinion, is such a fucking thing of the past. And it's not that it's gone, but it's like, if somebody doesn't do something, it's gonna be.
Yeah.
So for me, and what my personal mission is as a human, is to just breed that, man. It's to just I'm just gonna keep shoving it down everybody's fucking throats, and whoever is willing to eat a little bit of it, if they like the taste, then like, come on, let's go places. Like, I'm not trying to be at the top by my fucking self, looking around with my thumb in my ass. Like, that's not, you know.
Well, there's something
like,
great
there's
too.
all kinds of seats at the table.
Yeah,
like, there's no reason we can't all eat.
I've always carried myself that way too, where it's like, whoever, you know, and I hate to say it this way, but, you know, my closest friends at the time of whenever I'm doing something, like, I want those dudes to be just as known as I am. You know what I mean?
That's it. Because right there.
And I don't know, like, there's something to be said about that. It's one thing to have an entourage, but it's another thing to be a team of, or just a group of fucking dudes that all bring something to the table to eat. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And if I got to be the guy that kind of like puts this dude on the map, but then this dude takes that fucking introduction and runs with it, then I love that. That's me I mean?
Right there. That's what I try so hard. Like today, man, like, I've never met the guy, the TMF Cycles, a guy named TJ.
I think I've heard of that.
You know, I've heard of him before. You about to look him up. I've heard of him before. Like, this is just I'm just using this as an example. Today, I needed a rebuild kit for a caliper. Called a specific local Harley Davidson dealership and got fed a line of bullshit. But anyways, so it was like, I looked here, couldn't find it. Looked there, couldn't find it. Called this guy and said, this is what I'm looking for. I don't have a drag account, so I use another shop for drag. And I just have a good relationship with them, and they allow me to still get cost on it. You know, so which it wins for them, because it's just raising their numbers.
Yeah,
you know? So it's
that's the thing about
plus
that.
for them too. I just can't afford the buy-in to have a drag account. So I have Tucker, you know, I have Hard Drive, Mid USA, a couple other ones. But I looked everywhere, couldn't find it. So someone, Blanco something on Instagram, he hits me up and says, hey, hit up this guy, TMS Cycles. I make a post, hey, I heard you got what I need. What's up? Man, I'm talking about 120 fucking seconds later, this dude, pow, 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 I got a rebuild kit on the way. I'm like, holy shit, man, like, that's awesome. So I turn around and I shout this dude out. And there's so many other, you know, not too long ago, I was looking for a raised cable like housing for an SNS card, because there's the low ones that come on them for what they call butterfly cables, and then there's the raised ones for like CV cables, like CV carb cables and things like that. So I was looking for a raised one because no one had one in stock locally. So I thought, man, if somebody locally has ones, holding on to one, let me get one. So I put it out on Instagram. Instantly, bang, 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 people popping up everywhere that had them. So what do? I turn around and shout out all these people. I got one from one guy, but I take the time to shout out every single person who was willing to stop what they were fucking doing, to dig out something they had, and to just offer it to me. Mm-hmm. They didn't give nobody was hunting money. Nobody was like, yeah, man, if I got one, it's yours. Let me run home and check. You know, it's just the fact that people are willing to stop and do that. So, like, yeah, I try to shout them out. And it's like, I'm not saying that, like, I deserve anything back. It's just that whole, like, I'm trying my best to take every fucking body with me. Like, if you in any way, shape, form, or fashion are trying to help me make the next step, then I'm trying to pull you up that motherfucking step with me.
Yeah.
You might not even be trying to go. I'm gonna grab you by the shirt collar and try like. I didn't ask none of them motherfuckers like, hey, I'm gonna shout you out. Like I'm gonna put your information out there.
Yeah.
Some people don't like that shit. You know, I've had guys. I literally have had people before like, hey man, like I appreciate that, but like don't worry about it. Like I'm just trying to be low key over here. And like I respect that.
Yeah.
But like without asking them, I grab by the shirt collar and try to pull them up the step. You know, like if you pushed me up here, motherfucker, you're coming too. You know, and man, like I try so fucking hard. To just. I'm trying so hard to get to the top, but like I'll be damned if I leave somebody that helped me make the step.
Yeah.
Leave them behind. Ain't fucking happening. I'll sit on that step and wait if I have to.
I get that 100%, man. Like it's really weird because what for me, like I've tried to bring a lot of people, you know, on my path with me. You know what I mean? But like at the same time, there's a lot of people that you take on the road with you that I don't know. I don't really want to get into it, but like it's the more you try to do for people, the more people expect. Yeah, a lot of people start expecting it, and then next thing you know, you're like, man, like I'm feeling a lot of drainage coming from this titty over here that's getting sucked dry.
I love music, all kinds of music. I believe literally every kind of fucking music has a time and a place and a moment and an emotion but. You can feel however the fuck you want about Joel Osteen. I don't give a fuck about him. But Slim Thug has a song called Church, I think is how you pronounce it. But it's CHUUCH. There's just no R in the church.
Yeah.
There's a U where the R would be. And he took and made this rap song where he's dubbed in some really good clips of Joel Osteen. Because, like, even though the dude's a quack, in my opinion, he does sometimes just put down some truths.
Dude be spitting, man.
Yeah, it's a fact. Dude be spitting straight up. That's just, he really does put out some golden shit.
Yeah.
He just might have some questionable morals.
Yeah.
But
did you watch Righteous Gemstones?
Nah.
Dude, that's good. You gotta watch. It's on HBO with like Danny McBride. It's kind of like a play on like the whole evangelistic or televangelist church.
Oh yeah.
It's really good. It's good fun. It's funny as shit.
So I don't have cable. Like if it ain't on Netflix, I can't see it.
Well, like Amazon, you can get it on there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Go ahead though.
No, but that song, what you was talking about, just like trying to take some people with you, and it's just like it just ain't. You know, you're trying to pull these people to the top, but even harder, they're trying to pull you to the bottom.
Yeah, misery loves company though. Like that, that shit means a lot.
And it's not that they're maliciously trying to pull you down, but it is. You're right. Misery loves company, and they want somebody to be down there with them.
It's so easy to be, just like negative. It's so easy. It's so easy to dismiss. It's so easy to be negative. It's so easy to be those dudes on YouTube like, fuck this, too long. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's so easy to throw negativity out there, and then you got guys like yourself. You got guys out there that are trying to. Just spread some type of like, whatever you want to call it, entertainment. You want to call it just content, which is the new word for it. Whatever you're putting out there, you're doing it, and you're trying to like do it with a positive vibe. But then there's always those like dudes in the corner like, this motherfucker's doing it for this reason. I'm gonna fucking troll him. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. And it's like, realistically, there's a lot of people doing some positive things, but then you got these fucking leeches that just take the energy out of people.
Yep.
And it goes back to what I was saying about like the TV shows that people watch, the things that they fill their life, the kind of content they fill their mind with. It really comes back and it bites them in the ass when, like I'm the same way. If I fill my head with bullshit, I see things differently online. I'm seeing this dude doing this, I'm like, fucking nerd. This dude don't even fucking ride. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. I do that. That's fucking not right. I should not be judging this dude. I should let him do his thing, and I should be focusing on my thing. But when I fill my head with bullshit nonsense, I get in a bad vibe, and I start being that dumbass. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna hit you with some heavy shit right now. So as we've always previously discussed, I fucking love drugs. God damn it, I love drugs.
Woo!
That's a fact. I do.
I was gonna do some fucking edibles here, but we're in California and it's legal.
Yeah. Why didn't you?
Matt forgot him. He forgot to bring them. So.
Holla at your boy. Anyway. So in my spiritual quest of life, I may or may not have allegedly mixed this concoction of substances, for a lack of better terms. And I went on this wild quest where...
Did you go on a cocaine vision quest?
Well, you don't get too many vision quests on cocaine, right? So, but... All right, so I'll just be straight up. I took a couple mushrooms, right? And I was probably in like the 1.5 to 1 3/4 grams of mushrooms. Nothing crazy, but like the colors are real pretty. Like your paint jobs look a lot better.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, thanks.
I'm just fucking with you. I'm just talking about the color palette, okay? The color palette. So I'm on these and they're kind of kicking in. So I'm like, well, if I do a bump of coke, I'll speed all this up.
Yeah,
and
makes sense.
You know, everything will get real good, right? So I'll do this big old fat bump of coke. So I start kind of speeding shit up. Now I'm like, now bright colors are going fast. I'm like, oh fuck, okay, all right, I'm with you. And then
it's a major upper and a major downer kind of thing.
Well, see, man, I don't.
Is it?
Nah, I don't feel like mushrooms are a downer. It's mushrooms for one, in my opinion. Man, we're about to go so far the other direction. Let's come back to that.
Okay.
I want to tell you
Let's finish the
what
part, yeah.
I discovered in my quest. All right. I somehow created this analogy to myself in this world, if you will, that your mind, your brain is just like your fucking stomach.
Yeah.
If you feed your stomach a good, clean, healthy diet, what happens? Your body's you turn into a fucking machine. You're a goddamn animal. Your performance starts to climb, your motivation, you feel better, you're less lethargic, you're fucking killing it. If you eat bullshit and drink bullshit and just load yourself down with bullshit, what do you feel like? You feel like fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Your brain is the exact same as your motherfucking stomach. If you sit around and watch Joe Exotic and these other dumbass motherfuckers, your brain is going to associate with that shit. Yeah. You know?
It's like junk food, like you said.
So if you are constantly feeding yourself with some positive shit, you know, like, then you're going to feel more positive. You are going to be more uplifted. You're going to be more energetic. 99.9999 motherfucking percent of the time, when I make those Instagram stories early in the morning, when I'm like, it's very obvious I'm not in a good place, but I'm putting out something that says, hey man, you might not like your job, but you still need to go kill it today. You know, whatever it is, I'm just throwing some shit out there right now. But when I'm trying to put out some really motivational shit, you can almost guarantee 32 seconds before I made that video, I had a fucking extension cord in my hand looking for a tree to tie it to. Like, it's like I get in some nasty motherfucking places. But like, false motivation is better than no motivation. So if I can just get a sliver of me seeing that I'm in that place, then I know, like, okay, man, like, the only way to get out of here is to fucking climb. Like, I'm down here and I want to be up there. I got to start fucking climbing. Yeah. So like, I'll go in my shop, I'll turn on like some good music, or I'm a huge fucking fan of just turning on YouTube and just literally just search on YouTube motivational speech. 3 to 5 days of the week, 40 to 60% of the day, I've got YouTube on in the shop playing random fucking motivational speeches. Where like some person sat at home and dubbed in like all the right speeches, and I will feed myself with that. I feed. And people are like, man, you're so energetic. Because all fucking morning I've been listening to these people who made it to the top, who are at the top, who are just like, keep fucking climbing. Yeah. All day in the background while I'm working on your motorcycle, I got these speakers just telling me, keep fucking climbing. Keep fucking climbing. And everybody sees that it's like, I don't know, like generic, or, oh, that's fucking corny. Like, no, I get it. Like, fuck you. Who's the one with the energy and who hates their fucking job? Yeah. You know? Like, I tell people all the time, man, if the shop failed tomorrow, or if somebody just showed up and said, like, that's it, you can't do this no more, you're not allowed, we're shutting you down, Dude, Sonic's fucking hiring, and I promise you, right motherfucking now, I'll be the best motherfucker that ever flipped burgers in that fucking Sonic ever.
Can you roller skate?
And if anybody comes in there and outdoes me, I'm gonna grind until I can fucking outdo them. It's just that's it.
Yeah.
There's motherfuckers in the industry right now that are just far fucking superior to me. But every fucking day, I grind to catch them.
Yeah.
And I grind to fucking pass them. You know,
do you make like small like incremental goals that you set yourself like to do to make you feel better about everything you do? You know what I mean? Like
I do to an extent, like daily. Like for me, like I have to feel like this is just who I am as a human. I have to feel accomplished each day. Yeah. Like if at the end of the day, if I haven't like just gotten something, I'm like, yeah, I did that today. Man, it destroys my mind. I would just magically, like, I'll just go off in a nasty place because I don't feel like I've been successful. I don't feel like I did it. I don't feel like I achieved my day, you know. And so that shit'll get dark off in me.
You know, like I know that, like, you know, you've dealt with like things like that, but you know, to me, in my limited experience in like real adversity in life, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I feel like just like you were talking about that ride, it's all like a circle of life of like shit times to reset your mind on accepting the good times. You know what I mean? I used to tell my wife this, and I tell people that will fucking listen. If you think about all the shittiest times in your life, in my opinion, you might not agree to this, but I feel like I can tell you the shittiest relationship I was in. This bitch was cheating. We was doing this, blah, blah, blah. And I could say, like, man, there was this one time, though, we were sitting on the couch. It was fucking amazing. It was the most perfect part of my life at that time. So what I'm saying is, like, in all the bad times of our lives, there's something that was amazing. That was something that, like, you're going to miss when things are better and you're not in that place anymore. Yeah. And there's also the thing that, like, if your life was so perfect all the time, if you had like, when you see these millionaires that are these Robin Williams that are fucking, you know, off themselves, these people that have everything that we're like, they have no adversity. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
people all the time say, you don't see nobody crying in a Ferrari. It's because you ain't in the fucking Ferrari with them, homie. Yeah. That's it. Like, if anybody thinks that everybody ain't got something, yeah, man, you are wrong. And I'm not saying that the world's so fucking depressed, but just nothing's fucking perfect.
Yeah, I mean, like, for me at least, you know, in my mild success in life, super small.
Poquito.
Exactly. It's kind of like the best teacher, because every time I achieve some small goal I set for myself, I find the things that are flawed with that goal from original, and I set the new goal to overcome that flaw that I didn't know existed, because I was looking at this star that I only saw the shine. I didn't see the fucking makeup of it, right? Yeah. And so you're going, you're achieving it, you finally get to it, you're holding, you turn on the backside, oh, it's a fucking light. Yeah. You know what I mean? This thing isn't 100% every angle, amazing, bright, perfect life. You know what I mean?
My number, I feel like just as a human, this isn't really business relative. It becomes relative because I Justin Lee Kelly is hanging high customs, but nothing's fucking perfect.
Yeah, and including myself.
Yeah, but like God love my wife, because like I have such a hard time just being happy with something. You know, like, you could roll up at the shop, and I don't want to be this way. I don't mean to be this way. It's just the fucking way I am, and I have to combat it, because it is this what I'm about to describe is what creates a lot of my darkness. Mm-hmm. But you could roll up to me with a brand new, like, Road Glide Special, and I'd be like, yeah, but it's a stock-ass motorcycle. Instead of being like, oh, shit, like, I just got a $40,000 fucking motorcycle, like, fuck yeah, this is glorious. You know, like, no, I'll immediately will pick it apart. Yeah.
But so you know got haterism.
No, well, I don't even really know the term, the definition of haterism. However,
If I come to your shop on my brand new bike,
No, I see. Okay, so here's where it's different. I'm only like that with me.
Oh, with your own
if
shit.
you rolled up and you were like, "Yo, I got this new bike, but it's stock," I'd be like, "What? That's a $40,000 fucking motorcycle." Like,
okay, I get what you're saying,
Like, you're
though.
a balling motherfucker, you know. Like, I would pump you up so fucking much, but I, for whatever reason, genetically, dude, cannot motherfucking pump myself up like that. Like, I can't. I will immediately be like, "Oh man, like you got a custom motorcycle shop and
Dude,
you're riding a stock motorcycle."
I'm the same way. I mean, like you got to. It's perspective, right? Because you know, every day that I look at my surroundings in the shop, or I look at my current what like I might be looking at a project that 10 years ago I would have gave my left nut to have my hands and art on, and I'm sitting here motherfucking my life because I'm like, man, why did I get stuck with this shit? And I'm like, whoa. Perspective, always knowing, always remembering the time when you wished that I could paint a Hayabusa, that I wish I could do a new Road Glide. You know, like it's funny because like one of the first 2014, whenever the new Road Glide came out, or the new body style was like, I think it was 2015. They released it in 14.
The body style didn't change with the M8?
No, it didn't change at
Okay,
all.
so 14 was the new body style where it had like the air
It's 15.
duct and shit.
So 14 they didn't do a Road Glide. It was 2013 was the last Road Glide.
For the Road
14.
Glide. Okay, yeah, sorry.
So it's like I said, like I got to paint one. I got to do one of the first complete custom. Like they released this bike in the beginning of September. We had a 30-inch. I was up in NorCal. We had a 30-inch done up bike with a brand new paint job, stretch bags, everything done to it at Street Vibes at the end of September. Like in a month, we had it done.
Dang.
And then I never painted another new Road Glide for 3 years after that. I was doing all the old shit.
Yeah.
So what I mean, it's like, it's perspective. It's like being stoked that you're getting the opportunity to do this and like getting out of your head, because just like you, when you're tinkering on bikes, you're wrenching, you're welding, you're making shit, you're doing stuff with your hands, but this thing's loose.
Oh, that motherfucker is everywhere.
Yeah, and so like you
hands
said,
are here, but this motherfucker, woo, is everywhere.
you're running a bead, you're fucking just dabbing that shit like, bitch, got it. But in here, you're
I wish
like,
I looked that good when I was a welder.
yeah, just like in your head though, you're somewhere, you're on a fucking other island, like stressing out or getting maybe insecure, maybe a million other types of things. You're just not in a good place. It's in like the YouTube. Like I'm the same way. Like I try to put it on because before I had an apprentice here, like I'm alone here every day from 9 a.m. till 6 or 7.
That's just so hard.
My only connection to life is lunch, which obviously I can't do now.
Yeah.
And then whatever's going on social media. You know what I mean? So
Man,
like
that being alone shit is so fucking hard. You know, so like my wife just got a taste of this recently with this whole quarantine bit, right?
Yeah.
So she's at work all the time. There's all these people, piss her off because she's with them every day and it's the same shit and they have the same bitches and blah, 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 blah. Well, next thing you know, she's working at home for 2 weeks and she's like, I just miss people walking by the office and saying, "Hey, good morning. Oh, hey, Bill, you getting your coffee?" Like, I'm like, now you fucking get it, because she'll get up and go to work in the morning and she's around all these fucking people, right? And she's away from home. This is another thing for me. Like, my shop is at my home. So when I wake up in the morning, I just walk across the fucking yard.
Yeah.
And you've seen, like, it ain't big.
Yeah.
You know? So she goes and she's away from the house. She's around all these people. She gets all this, feeds a certain part of who we are as humans.
Yeah.
And then when she comes home, it's like, oh, I want some silence and I want to just enjoy my home. I've been here all motherfucking day and ain't seen nobody. So I'm like, yay, you're home. We can fucking go places. Like, truck's warmed up. Let's roll. And she's like, what? Which I just got home. Like, I'm trying to sit down. I'm like, you just got home. I'm ready to leave. Like,
Yeah.
So that shit's hard, but it's just in reference to the working alone thing. Like, man, that shit's hard. And I've been doing it, for so long just because I didn't have the workflow to be able to bring someone in. I am so scared to bring someone in because, like, for me, like, I take this super serious, man. Like, it's not I want to build amazing motorcycles. That's my primary goal, is to build amazing motorcycles. I want to build a brand. I want to build a community and a culture and a company. I don't want to just build a business. Anybody can have.
You want to build a legacy, is what you want to build.
Yeah, like we talked about this last time. Arlen S. We had spoke about Arlen S., which last time I think he had pretty much just passed, right? Yeah. So in that is like, I've heard people before, me and FXR Mike were talking about this just the other night, is like, I've heard several people make the comments about like the way the industry is now and the way that it's all ran now with social media and this and that. It's like, there's never going to be like another Arlen S. or another like, you know, another company like legacy like that. Like some guy who was a builder and then just built like this fucking empire. And like, I so whole fucking heartedly disagree with that. Yeah. But like, I get where that ideology would come from, but I disagree with it in the sense of like, I believe it's still doable. I just think now it's a little harder to obtain. I think there's far more I can't think of the word, but competition. There's far more competition now. Yeah. You know, things like
There's
that.
Far more exposed competition. So
yes.
So one of the biggest things, you know, on that note, which is a really great point that I'd love to throw some opinions out about. When Arlen S., and not to diminish his legacy one bit,
no,
right? But
it's just for one legacy.
He built bikes. He put them out there. He effortlessly put himself in the eyes of people of America. It was way harder for people to do that at that time.
Hell yeah.
So for the fact that he built these crazy bikes, he was kind of in a great area to grow prosperously because in the Bay Area there's lots of money. He did that. He had a fucking sick style. And I can only imagine this dude was a fucking like, just like you and I sitting in the shop alone, grinding away, building a legacy while other people are maybe giving him shit for it. And the next thing you know, things click and all of a sudden he's like, oh, Arlen, this is great. And he's like, you know what, fuck all y'all when y'all didn't believe in me when I was fucking dumping my life into this, right?
I like to hope that he did. I like to hope at some point Arlen S. is like, man, fuck you.
Yeah. Secondly, I want to say that like I made this comment to I think my buddy at Paint Huffer, and I was like, look, we are our generation, which let's just say everybody in our industry right now, let's just lump them all and say it's our generation, right?
Yep, tracking.
50 to 20. We're all in the same boat,
yep.
Right? Everybody keeps trying to reinvent what happened 15 years ago. True. Why? There is so much more shit out here, and the problem is that like people want to do what was already done, and then they want to complain about the fact that it doesn't feel like it's doing what it already happened. Meanwhile, Billy Lane didn't have the ability to do any of the shit that we do every day. He did not have the ability to turn on his cell phone, his Nokia with buttons that he had to press. He didn't have
three times to get
He couldn't do that. I will give these dudes credit that did all the biker builder shows. I've watched those shows so many times. I'm a huge fan, and don't take anything I say out of context. But those dudes got made. They got exposed by media. 100%. Media exposed them and showed the world these amazing, talented people. The difference is now is that we are the media showing the world what we know how to do, and it's just harder to stand out. Don't you think it would be harder for like, think about all the dudes that didn't make it in that deal. All the dudes, I've met some of them. I've been in shops. I've had conversations with guys who would come at me and be like, yo, man, so this is me. I was at Easy Rider show and I was supposed to be on this biker build up with Dylan, but something happened. But that was his one chance, his step to become like all the people all his peers in the industry at the time. But he didn't get that chance because the media didn't pick him.
Yeah.
They decided to pick the other one. His whole fate, his whole career, his whole life is based on the fact that this one company chose to go another direction with them than him. And now he's working for another shop.
I agree with that. Actually, me and Michael Lewis from Violent Choppers, we were talking not too long ago, and he was talking about how like during that era and Discovery Channel and this and that, and just how they would pick certain people, or how they might say they were going to do this but then do this, and how like you were so subject your outcome was so dictated by essentially fucking Discovery Channel.
Yeah.
Rather than the fucking work you did. And he was like, he had told me that was one of the things that it drove him away from just the custom bike side of thing was just like, you know, I don't want to be dictated by I don't want to be dictated by what the TV tells me that people want to see.
Yeah, you don't want your fate.
I want to build.
You don't want your fate in the hands of somebody else.
Yeah. I feel like I do agree with you. Back in the day, media made them. Now we as the builder, we as the craftsman, the tradesman, the what the fuck ever, or woman, whatever you think you are.
But seriously, nobody.
But now
all for Instagram.
Yeah, but yeah, I do it for the gram. I like the grams. Now we have to, instead of like media making us, like media picks us because we're the right person for fucking TV, you know?
Yeah.
Like this person is who that the people want to see, so that's who they're going to cling on to, and then that person now becomes somebody because media took them there. We now have to utilize media to take ourselves there.
Yeah.
Like media is still a part of it, but excuse me. But it's on us to do it.
Yeah.
You know, like now it's not some producers like, oh, well, people like you got better ratings when you were on for 15 seconds than this guy did, so you get to go.
Yeah.
When this guy may have built a better fucking motorcycle.
Yeah. So the other thing about that, and you could probably attest to this, is how many people have you met before social media really took over? How many old guys, old bike shops, old people you met, or just older, even people you might know now that's only a couple years old, is, you know, I'm a badass fabricator, I'm a bike builder, but I just don't want to do social media. All right, well, slit your wrist now, motherfucker, because you're done.
Walk away. Yep.
Right? So the other thing is, like, you now have direct feed access to everybody that cares about what you do, right? So, you know, a lot of people, I don't want to say a lot of people, just if people wonder why I care so much about photography, it's because I want my life, my legacy, whatever the fuck I'm leaving behind, I want great photos to show the world what I did.
Yeah, agreed.
You know? And so to me, it makes sense to invest my attention, my eye, make it a hobby of mine to learn how to take the best quality photos, videos, whatever the case it is of what I do. That way it's out there. I mean, the crazy, you want to go down a rabbit hole of like, fuck your life. You think about the solar system. Think about all the people who are probably the most amazing Jesse James-esque builders that just didn't have that nudge. Wasn't born in fucking Long Beach. Wasn't here. Didn't get that. Didn't do this. Maybe they were in fucking Ruidoso, New Mexico.
And there's so many more people that didn't make it than did make it.
Exactly. So, and not to be like, woe is me and that shit, but at the same time, like, we live in an age now where you have to be a fabricator, a photographer, a TV personality, a content creator, an influencer, a biker, above all, hopefully.
Yeah, and if you don't have some homie who likes videography and can make cool little clips for you, or this or that.
If we were in Cali, they might get mad at me for saying it, but if we were in Cali and every fucking kid that loves every shot, I mean, there's a lot of kids, guys, people, whatever. I just say kids just because I feel like I'm old as fuck, but there's a lot of people out there that love all the shit that shops all over the country do, but they're more like proactive, like, oh, I'm a videographer. I'll go into your shop and start doing videos. Now, these shops that don't know how to do it just because their location is in California, they have access to a lot more fans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And those fans provide a lot of, like you said, that guy that bought you your fucking, that was willing to buy your stuff, your saddlebags for you at that place. There's a lot of cats out there that really support guys like you and me and many shops, and they'll do some fucking things that you're like, wow, man, like I don't know how to say thank you for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
it's crazy, man. It's crazy, like through social media and who I've built, you know, because people know Hang'em High Customs as me and me as Hang'em High and blah blah blah. So, you know, like I've been on trips and out places and, you know, posted them out on the road and have somebody like I've never fucking met before. Like, yo, I got a room you can crash in, or, hey, I've got you. If you're in this part of town, I've got a bike or a, It's amazing the shit that's been offered up. And it's amazing to me, especially because like, I feel like I'm a fucking nobody. So it's like, okay, let's relate this, since we're talking about social media. Let's just relate this to following base. All right. Got a little over 2,000.
I got pissed so bad. I got to figure out how to do this.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder if Facebook will be pissed if we both go piss right now. You know, fuck them. They're watching, so let's go.
All right. Hey,
just leave it live. We'll be back in a second.
Stay with it. I'll be right back. So I didn't forget my thought.
Hell yeah.
So what I was saying is, if like we're talking about people reaching out and offering things. So if we just relate this to social media and numbers, a little over 2,000 followers, and I've been offered bikes to ride, houses to stay at. Some guy was willing to buy me a couple $100 fucking pair of leather saddlebags, you know, like just these different things, right? All off, like never, and these are all, I'm just talking about people I've never fucking met before. Never been a customer. I've never, in my mind, I've never done anything for them. So if you say like, okay, I've been offered all these things off of a little over 2,000 people, what the fuck are these guys in the industry with 30, 40,000 followers? Well, like, what are they getting offered? Shit. But then, it is not that I really care. It's just,
it's a thought though. I mean,
it's just
you're stuck in the shop.
It's honestly just a random thought that I have. Like when somebody hits me up and says, hey, you know, just found your page, been following you for a couple months, really like you. If you're ever in this area, you got a place to stay.
Dude.
I actually have an extra bike. It might be a Honda, but you got a bike to ride. Because I tell people all the time, man, like, I don't care if it's a Vespa. I don't give a fuck what it is. Like, I'm going to have fun on it. You know, like people ask all the time, what's your favorite motorcycle? The fucking one I'm riding.
Yeah.
That's it. It's the fucking one I'm riding.
On that same note, man, like, you know, I do have, I'm kind of famous. I got like 30,000 something people. No, but what it is amazing.
You ain't bragging or nothing, you know.
No, it's really,
I'm so glad
it's so crazy. Yeah, dude, it feels so much better, right?
I sat here and contemplated to myself while you're talking, like.
So, like, no, I was listening to you, but I was like, I gotta piss.
Yeah.
Piss.
I was just like, I think this is important enough for me and my future and my career and my potential success to just piss myself. Like, I think I'll do it. I'm okay with this right now.
The thing about, like, to me, what I fell in love with, that when I started building my brand, you know, the Fast Life Garage, it was initially started because I wanted to do paint. I just wanted to have more customers. I wanted to have opportunity. I wanted the quality of work to come in my shop to just continually get better. And I say quality, I mean quality of opportunity, not just somebody that's willing to spend money and has a nice project, but solid people that I love to work with. And then when we started riding, and it became something that people like look to us for, you know, inspiration to ride and things like that, which it's real simple when you love riding. It's easy to just be like, yo, you know, like I don't really have to claim that I'm doing thrash tests or mile tests on my parts, because like every time I go ride my bike, like hey man, I'm fucking in the middle of fucking Kansas right now, bro. What's up?
I beat on this thing because
there's no question, you know what I mean? But the other thing is like when people start reaching out, it's so fucking dope. Me and my wife drove to NorCal, and I had a customer. I painted a bike for him there in like 2016, and he knew I was coming up there, and me and my wife was kind of looking for a place to crash. Dude was in Vegas with his kids doing some cheerleading shit. He goes, hey man, keys under the mat. Help yourself.
That's epic.
So that's one thing I try to tell my wife all the time, because I try to leave we have a spare bedroom and I have a couch. I try to leave it open for bikers that are down with the shit we do, to know that if they're coming through Dallas, they got a spot to crash. Yeah, I do that. My wife kind of gets, you know, you got to tell me, you know, about, you know, all this shit. I was like, look, you remember when we were in Cali and some dude just gave us the key to his house? He also had a pool on top of a fucking hill. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We ain't talking about no bunk ass house. Like,
paying it forward means something, man. So the other thing that, like, you know, once again, touchy subject, but like, it's really, I don't know if you get this, but for me, it's super weird having this vast amount of network of people that fuck with me and that care and would do shit and offer me a couch everywhere in the country, but Dallas-Fort Worth. You know what I mean? For some reason, Dallas-Fort Worth is like, fuck that dude, Jace. He's too big for us now. Blah, 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 blah.
Man.
But everywhere else, everybody's cool. And everywhere else, people come here and they get the same love that they give me. But the people here.
The strongest level of support and motivation I get come from outside of DFW.
Yeah, I don't get it, man.
It's amazing to me. Fucking amazing.
Dudes.
I'm not saying there are
dudes in town.
I'm not saying there are some down ass dudes around here that are fully, committed
sure.
and motivated for Hang 'em High Customs. I by no means am I saying that. Like, I've got some down ass motherfuckers. But if we want to talk about percentages, it's outside of DFW.
Yeah, and it's that fucks with my head. You know what I mean? Like, that gets into my. I get insecure about that because it's real weird. Because like, as much as I want to make like shirts that rep Texas and like have this pride of where I'm from, I'm like, these fucking nerds over here don't give two shits about the brand or the person or all the shit that everybody does for what's here. They all like, oh, well, Jace is here, but, once again, it's awesome that I'm friends with all these great painters, but like, oh, well, Jace is here, so I'm going to send my bike to Valley Customs because, fuck Jace.
I met a guy here, and I apologize, I forget his name, but on Instagram, I want to say it's like Midwest Grinder or...
Oh, yeah, Aaron.
Yeah.
Aaron, yeah.
So, met him here at your shop party, and we got to shooting the shit.
He's a fucking nerd, dude. That's his helmet right there.
Oh, yeah, damn sure is. I remember the line. Yeah, so met him here. Super cool guy. Like, right away, we kind of hit it off. He was like, "Yeah, I listen to your podcast. I follow you. Boom, boom, boom." We had some talks, and then through our conversing, I told him, "Hey, me and my dad, we're gonna try to ride to the 80th Sturgis. This and that." And he's like, "Cool, man. If whatever your route comes through here, got you. You got a home."
Yeah, dude. Same point.
I don't fucking know this dude. I really don't. Boom, offers me a home, just right away. So then he hits me up and says, "Hey, you know anybody holding a front end?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man, I got one right here, actually." So I sold him this
DX front end?
Yeah, that dual disc 39 front end that I had. Yeah. So I sold him this front end. And then he tells me, gives me the shipping address, and it's in Florida. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, hold on, you live in fucking Nebraska.
He works in Florida.
He works in Florida? Okay, so that puts a little bit more.
He's a roofer, so he's like chasing like storms. Like
gotcha.
He's like the lawyer that chases ambulances, but he's chasing storms. He's a good friend of mine, so I could fuck with him.
That's a great fucking analogy. But I started thinking like, man, like I'm trying so hard to get the work of the people right in Mansfield, like it's this dot of DFW, and I'm like getting business here. And honestly, some of like the biggest jobs I've had have been from kind of outskirt of DFW, if you will. But all of a sudden, it like kind of opened my eyes to like, man, I could be doing so much bigger jobs for people further out there. So like right now, I've got a Street Glide that came in, and I'm just customizing it. I'm not doing anything crazy, Quazoo, awesome shit. Yeah. I wish I was. But this thing came out of fucking Kentucky, which I'm from Kentucky, and I know the person. But the fact that there's other good shops out there, it is an inconvenience for them to deal with me. But the fact they're willing to do that, and I'm like, okay, there are people that are willing to do that. Like,
that's what's different now about that's what's different about business and money.
My mind went, what? Like
yeah. As this like industry has gotten more connected coast to coast, it ain't shit for people for a great experience to throw their bike in a trailer and drive it to you. I mean, fortunately, with us being in Dallas-Fort Worth, we're 1,000 miles from everywhere, within reason. You know what I mean? Like, if we want to go to LA, it's 1,300 miles. We want to go to fucking,
Oh, we're literally in the middle. Like,
But, like, it does suck. It does suck when everybody else in the country is looking for a great shop and, whatnot. But it just is what it is, though, man. And that's why, like, we, us here, we focus more on the out-of-town business because that's what keeps us in business.
Man, I think the how you've created this niche for these helmets, I think it's such a fucking killer idea, man. Like, not that I want to corner myself with this is just what I do.
Yeah.
We talked about this last time. Like, I'm not just going to be a kind of motorcycle, but I, like anybody, would like to have something that I'm known for.
So if you could build something, right? So like whether you're building a chopper, if you get to a point in your career where you can, like, imagine your shop is like a a McDonald's, right?
Yep.
And that customer walks up to the fucking, you know, to pick up what they want, and they just got, there's all these options of shit you know how to do. I know how to do a lot of shit. You know how to do a lot of shit. But the customer before you picks breakfast, and the customer after you picks lunch. You got to change all your shit out to start doing this and do that, right?
Yeah.
So what happens is there's that downtime between this project and that project, right? And then the other thing that happens is if you keep making fucking hash browns every day, you're going to make some fucking sick ass hash browns after that 5th or 6th one. And then the 20th one and the 30th one. It does get redundant. But as a creative person, it is your job to take that redundancy and turn it into art. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so for the way I look at it is, before I wanted to be a shop that could do so many different things, but all it did was hinder me from doing something great, if that makes sense.
No, I cannot tell you how much I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I was like real hesitant to, not that I like to keep secrets, but like.
You can tell me, bro. Look at me.
Yeah. Did you just puppy dog eye me?
Yeah,
Like,
come on, buddy.
Yeah, I don't, you rub your belly button, it's gonna get sweaty in here. I want to grow my business. Mm-hmm. Because I want to grow. I want to grow. You know, I want to grow I want to grow a company. I want to grow something more than just like anybody can have a fucking small business. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
it's literally takes nothing to have a small business.
Yeah,
anybody who. Like anybody out there who's like, I want to start some business at home, like it's so fucking easy. Like it's once you get the business going, keeping it alive and growing it into a company, growing it into really something. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to grow my business into a company. And there might be some like actual definition or legal jargon there. And maybe I said that wrong, but I'm just trying to grow it into something bigger than it is. But, I want to do builds, man. I want to build. I would love to have like a parts line someday.
Yeah.
You know, like I reference, you know, like Arlen-S just because that's, you know, one of the bigger ones. I want to so badly build custom motorcycles. So badly.
See if these are
but it's like, we talked about this before. You have to have the maintenance, right? And so I want to grow my business, and to grow my business, you know, I got to bring on people. I got to get help. I got to do this. I got to do that. You know, I have to grow. I have to step out of my comfort zone. Mm-hmm. And I truly, like certain fish or like a turtle, it'll only grow as big as its environment. Mm-hmm. You know, so I truly feel like I have grown as like a builder or even as a company as much as I can just by myself right here, right now.
Yeah.
You know, so I feel like if I'm going to grow and I'm going to expand and I'm going to do anything, like if I'm going to grow, I must expand. So I've been chewing on this for so long. And then you had asked me if I wanted to come onto the podcast. I thought, man, like this might be actually a great opportunity to just kind of talk about it. And then because people are going to hear it and then I'm going to get people's feedback, you know?
Yeah.
And people with experience or just people with fucking opinions. And maybe I'm going to like some, maybe I'm not. Maybe I might tell you it's great. Maybe I might tell you go fuck yourself. But then I was like real hesitant, like, oh man, like should I tell my business? Should I tell like what I'm trying to do? And then I'm trying to grow and this and that. And like I shut my shop down today. I was like literally like rolling the shop door down, right? I'm 5 minutes from driving out and coming over here, and I was going to try to get here like 30, 40 minutes early to help set up if you needed it. And this old man pulls up who probably a month ago I had come quote putting some lights in my shop for me and like switching over to LED lights and everything because I got several ballasts that are going out. So this old man, he's 70 years old. Had his own business for 43 years now. Was a commercial electrician. And randomly, he said he was in the neighborhood, and for whatever reason, he had thought of me, and he just wanted to come by and check on me. And it was like, this happened today.
Yeah.
Literally minutes before driving here. And I, for weeks now, have been chewing on this, like growing and expanding and taking someone in and this and that. Like I told you, man, I'm a big proponent of just like listening to the world. Like, dude, just listen to what's going on around you. Like the world will fucking tell you what needs to happen if you just pay attention. And this random old guy who I've talked to twice, we have no connection, we have no this, no that. He come in today, literally as I'm shutting the door to come here, and he just starts fucking just spitting this knowledge at me, just like
This motherfucker's spitting.
yeah, exactly. And so he comes in and he's just like, hey, like, if you want to build a company, he's like, a company is a name, like like Coors Light, that's a company. Yeah, they make a beer,
Yeah.
but that's a company. It's not a person. And just like I said earlier, Hang'em High Customs is Justin Kelly. Justin Kelly is Hang'em High Customs. Do I ever want Justin Kelly to not be associated with it? No, I don't want that. But if I'm supposed to build this legacy for my sons, like, if I don't build a company, if I'm not there, then fucking Hang'em High Customs ain't there.
Yeah.
And I don't mean when I'm dead and gone. I just mean in the relevance of, like, if I ain't in the fucking shop, then that business don't really fucking exist.
Yeah.
You know, so, and he come in, talk for like maybe 15 minutes, just hit me with this like mind-shattering, just out of nowhere. Like, what possessed this old man to come by today, 70 years old, come by, just have this super heart-to-heart talk with me. And it's just like, he's like, I met you, I liked you, I like what you have going on here, and I just wanted to come by and tell you, like, don't make some of the mistakes I've made. And like, I just, so the whole drive.
So what was his, what was his opinion?
So the whole drive over here, I was just like, holy fuck, like, this old man just came, and it's like the universe told me, like, hey, before you go to Jace's, like, it's time to grow, dog. Like, it's time to go.
Yeah.
It's time to go. Like, if you want to be more, go. And so it was like, literally driving over here, I was like, that's it. Like, I need to find somebody. I need to hire somebody. I need to figure out my plan. I need to figure out what I need from this person. Do I want to get someone and train them so that things are done like the way I do them and the way that I want them done and this or that? Or do I want to get somebody who already knows and I can just bring them in and trust them? Yeah, I'm going to have to pay them more. Yeah, that's going to hurt more on the front side, but that's going to have greater benefit in the long run, probably, I think. I don't really know. You know, I'm not really sure what it is that I need or that I want or that I'm fucking looking for. Well, I do know what I want. I want to grow. I want to grow. I want to be more. I want my company to be more. And like, so I have to get someone in that can do the maintenance stuff.
Yeah.
Like your brother's bike coming in and needing like exhaust studs and things like that. Like, I need a guy that, like, when the bike comes in, I can diag, like, hey, motor's crooked in the frame. It needs motor mounts. It needs, motor to frame alignment.
Yeah.
This exhaust stud needs repaired. So this cylinder has to be torn down. I need somebody that can do that.
It's a lot of responsibility to have someone that can do that, though.
It absolutely is, because my fear is right now customers come because they want my work. And I'm not saying that arrogantly or narcissistically.
No, that's the way. That's why.
Yeah,
for me,
motherfuckers come to you because they want Jace's paint.
If I hired another
painter.
painter to do my work, you know what I mean? Like, that's what the biggest painter in town does.
Yeah.
Therefore, his work changes every time his airbrush arch changes.
But it's like, I don't want to be known for being able to diag your shitty bullshit wiring. I know that's where the money is. I know it is, but I know service and maintenance is what's going to make the most money. But I busted my fucking ass to get my life to a point where my overhead is very fucking minimal.
So now you can make the biggest sacrifices to change the course of the direction of your business.
Yeah, so like that's where I'm at right now. Like, don't get me wrong, I still gotta make money. I still gotta fucking eat. But if I can get a confident tech, whether I gotta train them, whether I get somebody in who fucking knows their shit and knows how to order parts and knows how to do these things, and then I can start doing the building. I can start pursuing what I truly think I truly feel I have a gift. Like we talked about gift versus passion. Like, yeah, this is my passion. But like we talked about earlier, not in the podcast, but just me and you, but like welding and metal fab is something that since I was a kid, man, I've just naturally been good at it. So that's why I was like, oh, well, I should go to school and like refine this, you know, and get better at it. And then like I got to where I can make a cool looking motorcycle, but I didn't fucking know how to make it run. So then that's when I went to MMI and started to learn a little bit more about the motors. And, you know, it was like a little bit here, a little bit there. Next thing you know, all these years and all this time invested and all this experience. And I'm not saying that, you know, everybody's got to go to school. You know what I mean? Like I would have loved if I could have just learned from some dude and saved all that fucking money. But, you know, I went the route I went. I would love to find some, like, it doesn't have to be young, but some hungry, passionate motherfucker who, you know, who thinks that they have that gift and wants to pursue it. You know, like, yes, I'm passionate about this shit, but I truly believe if you were to say, like, you have a gift, you know, what is your gift as a human? Like, I feel like I'm fucking good with these, man. Whether it's turning wrenches or throwing these bitches at you. Like, I'm dude, like, these 10 digits, like, I got it going
Turning
on.
wrenches or throwing these bitches at you. That's a fucking T-shirt from Hanging High.
well, like, it's just like that. I just is, man, I don't read good. I can't spell worth a fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
Good thing for Siri, huh?
Oh, praise Jesus for autocorrect. Because, man, I would be all kinds of jacked
That's
up.
funny.
But I just say all that to say, like, I want to grow. I want to expand. It's fucking terrifying because it's like, dude, again, Hang 'em High Customs is Justin Kelly. So if I bring someone in and then they go out and do something fucking stupid, like they're a representation of Hang 'em High Customs. Yeah. This dude goes out and gets drunk, beats his old lady. Well, now that's an association of Hang 'em High Customs or whatever. So it's like, how do I find the right person? I don't fucking know, you know? And how do I find a person who also is in a position in their life that they don't have this abundance of overhead? Like, if I find some good tech, he wants $25 an hour, he's got a wife and 6 fucking kids, and last year, once I filed my taxes, and like, I got a real CPA this year. I mean, like this year, when I did my taxes, I got a real CPA. I like really did it legitimately. Like, I genuinely wanted to know, okay, after all these years of business, am I actually succeeding? Like, is this actually working? Did I make money? Mm-hmm. I literally just barely made over minimum wage last year. Like, if I don't play fuck around at all with any of the numbers, I legitimately, having my own custom motorcycle shop, I just barely made over minimum wage, and I busted my fucking ass last year. So it's like, that's terrifying to say, like, okay, if only I'm making that much money, how the fuck am I supposed to pay some other person?
Yeah.
I know it's possible, though, because if some other person comes in, the workflow speeds up, my turnaround time speed up, this, that. But it's like, okay, when things speed up, does quality go down? Because if quality goes down, we're going to stop where the fuck we're at. Yeah. Like, quality has to be number one. I'm an OCD freak like that, and it's like, it fucking has to be number one, or I'll close the doors and burn the fucking building down. I don't give a shit. Yeah. You know, so, man, it's like something that's stewing so hard on me. But when that old man came in today, and it was just like, for whatever reason, like he just looked around and was like, if this is ever going to be more than just you, this is what he said to me. If this is ever going to be more than just you, it has to be more than just you.
That makes sense.
And I was like,
so on all that. So I want to give you my perception of success and my perception of growing a big business. Yeah. I'm the opposite. Only because I grew up working at Other Side Customs, which is the biggest Gary, custom paint shop. Yeah. Yeah. And he's always had 5 or 6 employees. There's one point in time where I was the only airbrush guy, but then there was also times when it was me and another 2 people. Yep. And I always associated his business as like success. Like if I'm where he's at, I'm successful, right?
Okay.
And I will tell you this right now. I never got to where he was at, but I got close and I didn't feel successful. So, but from the moment that I started doing my own thing, I went to Sturgis every year. I went to California. I got to live my life and do motorcycle things in a sense that he doesn't get to. And I felt like, you know what? I work 5 days a week, 8, 10, 12 hours a day if I have to. If not, no big deal. And I get to travel. I get to do all this cool shit. And I get to focus on one job at a time, which means that one job at a time gets every bit of my attention and my thought and everything at one time. And then it has made my work better. I'm not the best at what I do, but if I'm just talking about myself in my career, I am better than I was when I was trying to be a big business, when I was trying to have employees, when I was trying to do that. And it's weird because what's hard about it is that we're all ingrained to think that employees in big business and paying, like, we all want to be Dixon Flannel, right? We all want that. We all want to do that. I want to be in a position where I can walk out tomorrow. I can walk out on my little loft right here and be like, hey, motherfuckers, here's $1,000, you know what I mean? Like, go spend it. Yeah, we're rocking. But it's not what we do. We're in the industry of creating with our hands, each thing.
Yeah. Everything
that comes out of my shop, everything that comes out of your shop, I gotta fucking touch it. You know what I'm saying? I don't get to just be like, cool, money. No, I got to do this. I got to do. I got to do so much. I
understand that because that's where I'm at right now.
So, in a sense, I would say if your passion is building, right, the sacrifice that I would make in your shoes is I would build what it is that defines you at this point in your life. Whatever it is, don't put a price tag on it.
Okay.
Don't put a time frame on it.
Okay.
And build Hang 'em High Customs, Justin Kelly. How old are you?
33.
You're 33. Justin Hang 'em High Kelly put everything, all the dick in it. Just the whole shaft. Like you bottomed the fuck out.
Yeah, all right.
You gave it all. And you built what you're capable of mentally, financially, and just emotionally into this bike. And you built it. And you put it out there and you're like, you know what? Hey, everybody, attention. This is what I build. I want to build this for you. If you like it, there's the door, right? Yeah. That sacrifice of putting that bike out there is going to show the world what you can do above what you probably have felt like you've already done or whatever the case may be. I know you a little bit. I don't know you like super well, but I know that you have a lot of projects.
I do.
And I know that what happens is, so growing up, and I try to talk to my brother, I try to talk to a lot of people about this because people like us who are a little bit OCD, but we're also plagued with what's the thing? Attention deficit disorder.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I don't like to diagnose us with that, but the thing is that we're like, oh yeah, this is the project. Then you get on Instagram like that project's last week. This is the new one. You know what I mean? But if you just focus and you just do your thing and you put it out there and you fucking make it, the motivation is for one by finishing truly fucking finishing a project is so like empowering for anybody that does creative custom like work, whether it's cars, bikes, whatever the case may be, finishing something. Because a lot of us pick up projects. I got an FXR on a fucking milk crate on the other side of this wall right here that I want to get on, but finishing a project means a lot. And when you finally finish something, then you have something to show the world as what you're capable of.
Yeah.
Right? And you can go into everything you do without doubts. Now, when you start trying to get into a point where you want to bring in employees, you got to understand that an employee is like a garden. You have to water them.
I know it.
So
That's
you have
what
to.
My big fear is, man.
You have to understand that right now you get to give 100% of your attention to the work that you're doing. It might not be exactly the work that you want or that you're dreaming of having in your shop, but you have to put all your intention in that work. You had an employee. You have to be this motivational speaker also for them. So every day you wake up with that fucking thought of that extension cord on that tree, you have to get past that, and talk yourself to go to work, and then you're at work, and then you're like, all right, this dude's a fucking piece of shit all the time. Now I got to motivate him to be fucking great. And you start taking on this new role of being a motivational speaker. So think about it like your CPU. How much CPU do you have? And are you going to put, if you can find a way to put more of that CPU into, if you can funnel it into the actual things that come out of these fucking things that you can throw at people, next thing you know, things start becoming more amazing. Instead of like you're throwing a little bit of CPU here, and now you got an employee, and then you got this and all this shit. It's like, it's really about managing your fucking attention. And I think that once a lot of people can do that, they can build that first step into building that legacy like Arlen Ness. How easy would it be? Once again, not diminishing the fucking amazing legacy that Arlen Ness has built. But if this was 1960 something, whatever, how easy would it be to just go to work and not have to deal with social media, not have to deal with fucking your wife thinking about what's going on with the other, like, well, you know, fucking Karen down the street has a great life and they take pictures in the bluebonnets and shit, and we just don't do that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, you just go to work and you fucking create. Like, CPU is 100%. It's not focused on social media. It's not focused on, oh, this is fucking Instagram worthy. As much as we want to do that, both, I'm guilty. I want to show the world what we're doing. That takes away attention from the finished product of what we're all trying to create, which is realistically a legacy, man. Like, I hear you talking, and I feel the same way. All I want to do, I wanted a big shop. I don't want any more. I want to be, I don't know, like, to me, if I fucking died next year riding a bike across country, I could only hope that I could have the same kind of, this is narcissistic, 100%. I can only hope that I've built enough of a fucking, like, care that someone would be like, hey, R.I.P. Jace.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I get a sticker on a bike or a fucking, like, hashtag or some shit. I don't know.
We'll get some cool airbrush t-shirts.
Yeah, it's just, what I'm saying is, like, make those goals like you're doing. Make that goal. But the first goal needs to be, if you haven't, and I apologize if I'm talking over, if you feel like, I know your Softail was fucking amazing. I mean, not Softail, the Shovelhead. Shovelhead was a beautiful bike.
Oh, yeah.
It was really nice. And if that's the customer base that you want to push towards, then you have to build that, and you have to find a way to shove that shit in everybody's face.
I like that bike. Don't get me wrong. I love it. You know, I've talked about changing it. I've tossed the ideas of like, well, I have this bike that's real, you know, it's already a running, riding bike, you know, like I could just modify it, make it work. But that being said, it's like, nah, fuck, I'm bumping my gums, so I ain't been playing catch up. That's the one I built for my brother. You know, me and my brother built it together. So, you know, like I'll never change a fucking bolt on it unless it breaks. But it's like, you're right. I got a lot of projects, man. I have shit, dude. I don't even want to talk about it. God, I have a lot of projects. I have a lot of really cool parts. I mean, shit, if you go through and look at like some of the motors I have, some of the suspension I have, I got $100,000 sitting around just in all this different. But what sucks is, like, you're right, the ADD gets me. I started on that Dyna, and then, like, I didn't have what it took to make it what I wanted it to be. So I was like, nope, all right, I'm out. Well, I've got $5,000, so let me build this Sportster chopper. So I started on the Sportster chopper, and then quickly I was like, I just went way the fuck out of the realm with that one.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I agree 100%. Like, I need to just dig off into something.
But you know what? On that same note, man, like, digging into it, the sacrifice that you have to make to really finally put all your dick in, put it all out there. Like, this is me. This is what I got
scary as shit,
at
though,
33.
man.
Because at the same time, it's kind of a security thing for us where we, like, paint. Dude, it's the same thing with paint, right? Because we're talking about art. We're talking about how fucking deep can I take this? And fabricating and building a bike is the same thing. It's art, it's skill, it's vision, it's a lot of things, right? So, and we're constantly bombarded with all these amazing fucking artists, fabricators, builders, marketers. Straight up, it's like marketing is an art now. You know what I mean? So all these people that know how to put it out there, right? And so next thing you know, you're like, you're stuck trying. You know, you get in a weird place where you almost need to like, which I know none of us can do because social media is the most addictive drug that's been created in this thing.
Fact.
So what you want to do is you want to take in as much inspiration from people that you admire as possible, and then cut it off and take that inspiration and apply it to you. Which, in my opinion, we're all the fuck child of all the people we love, right?
Yeah.
The every bike builder that you look up to, you know, those dudes fucked and they made you.
Yeah. No, that's
straight
true.
up.
It's true.
And then you make your shit, and now you're the fucking cum child of all this shit, right?
Yeah, because that sounded nice.
I'm just trying to keep it like biker, you know what I mean?
No,
so next thing you know, it's the same thing with paint. Like I am a result of painters I've looked up to my whole life and painters I just found out about last week.
Yep, that's a fact. That's a fact. I'm absolutely, my desire for what, if you were to say like, here's a cookie cutter of what Hang 'em High Customs builds, what I would build.
Hopefully not a Coors Light.
Well,
But okay.
I won't lie to you, man. Like, I don't know if EJ will see this or watch it or hear it or whatever, but my homie EJ, he's just like die-hard Coors Light. So I was like, I'm getting Coors Light for him.
Hell yeah.
But if you were to ask me, you know, what's this particular build gonna be or whatever, I agree. It would be a morph of all the builders and stuff that I like. And you're right. It would be bikes. It would be Indy and Larry shit that I've watched since I was a little kid to all the way to like Al Emerson now. You know,
fucking
like
Al Emerson, he's amazing. Yeah.
Recently, you know, and I've just recently discovered him, and I'm just like, holy fuck, like this dude, you know,
This dude's fucking raw.
and it's just his frames, man. His frames, the lines, I just really, really like what he's doing.
But you know what about Al Emerson as a point, right? Not to diminish his thing, but he takes his time and he makes fucking art.
Absolutely.
And everything I can tell, you know, if you're a painter listening to this or if you're a bike builder listening to this, is like, we live in a shortchanged fucking society where everybody just wants fucking quick shit. But what's really rewarded is patience. If you take the patience and you build the shit, Al Emerson is taking his time and building masterpieces. And that's why me and you were talking about it. I've talked about it a million times on this podcast. He built fucking out of Iowa, I think, right?
Yeah,
Somewhere out of there.
Iowa.
He's fucking killing. He's just over in the back. I don't even know what people
Yeah.
do. What do
And
people
I think-
do in Iowa for
I think
fucking
he's
fun?
got like a year plus waiting
Yeah,
list, like maybe
exactly.
even longer. You know what I mean? Like, how fucking phenomenal is that?
He's not rushing to be on the V-Twin Visionary Tour and the fucking Sturgis thing. He's like, you know what? I'm building my shit, and you know what? If I'm not feeling it today, I'm going home, and I'm not apologizing. I'm not explaining myself to anybody.
Yeah.
I'm here to create art. If I'm not feeling it, I'm not doing it.
A question that I constantly want to ask the world, because somehow I guess I give a fuck.
Give a fuck, bro.
It's hard not to sometimes.
Come on.
Is I want to build a legacy, yes. And to me, a legacy would be building this big company, right? So I have it in my mind that I need to build this big ass company. But at the same time, like, bro, I just like Warren Lane, Al Emerson, you know, fucking Indy and Larry, like I just want to build dope ass fucking motors. Like, I want to go into work and just be just fucking pumped that I'm gonna build this fender that for months has been in my mind.
Yeah.
And I just want to spend all day making this motherfucker right here. I want to be fucking perfect. And then when I go home, I just want to just have a big old veiny hard dick because I'm just so pumped about how goddamn cool it was to make this fender today.
Yeah.
You know, but I feel like if that's all I do, then what? Like, yeah, I may have reached some inner peace or this happiness, but like, is that success? I don't.
So
Oh fuck, man! I don't know. I mean, this is what
Yeah.
happens in Hang. Like, for anybody watching this, this is what happens at Hang 'em High Customs.
Dude, that's what happens
every
with all of us,
fucking
though.
day.
So
Every day it's like, do I need to hire people? Should I just stop turning wrenches and just start building? If I start building, are people going to like it? Like, is anybody actually going to buy this? Am I going to be able to feed the kids?
Think about
you know.
think about all the sacrifices that you've made in life you know, and as a military guy, you've made a lot of decisions and you've made a lot of things where you just put everything on the line and fucking sacrifice it all.
Yeah.
I mean, 100%.
That's me. Like, I'm a commitment guy. Like, I'll go all in, just what? But it's like for whatever reason.
So
I'll go on record right now. I am so fucking scared to just stop taking in the maintenance that I genuinely don't enjoy. I say everybody, but I'll get messages like, hey man, I wish a shop like you was closer. I wish I had a shop that would take the time and catch the little details. And I tell everybody all the time, like when people bring me their bike, like, hey, how fast can I have this done? I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
I'd refuse to give people timelines.
Yeah.
I fucking refuse. Because the second I do, you're going to be let down. We're all going to be fucked off. Like, it's just a bad idea.
Yeah.
I take my time. I give every single motorcycle, no matter what it is, no matter what, if it's a tire or a full motor job, I give it every fucking bit of me. Mm-hmm. Right? And I'm fucking slow. And today, I might have woke up this morning and had a real hard time not fucking swinging from a rope. So I'm not going to be as productive today. So I don't know when that's going to come. So I can't fucking tell you when this bike's going to be done. I can tell you when it's done. You're going to have the absolute best that I can give you. Is it going to be the best in the world? No, because I'm not the best in the world. But you're going to have the best motherfucking thing that you can get from Justin motherfucking Kelly.
Yeah.
I know that. Period. End of fucking story. And if I can't do it, I'm going to tell you who the fuck can. Because I refuse to do something that I'm just going to look like a damn idiot at. I'm always down to try something new. But, like, if I try and I'm like, hey, this ain't working, I will quickly tell you, like, I'm not the one.
It's the same thing. Like, the more eyes you get on you and the more requests that you get, like, you get a luxury and you get a burden, right? You get a luxury to be able to choose the type of work that you want to bring into the shop and burden yourself with. And I say burden in a positive way, not like, fuck you, customers.
There's good problems and bad problems, but they're all problems.
Exactly. So, a burden would be like, I got fucking 20 helmets to do, period.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, what I would say is like, there's a lot of very talented painters in the country, and why would somebody wait currently 4 to 5 months for a helmet from me when there's so many other talented people? And what I've tried to do, and kind of successfully in some point, is build a want for my helmet, not just a helmet to be painted. I wish that was with bikes, but at the same time, it's like, I kind of don't. Like, I don't want to be that burden, because if you got some dude's bike, that dude's pissed if he's waiting.
Yeah.
Got his helmet. I got another one.
Yeah.
I can wait.
Yeah. And I've done a bad job of telling people no.
Dude, the last time you were here, we were talking about this. So how have you dealt with the firing customers?
So I haven't had to do that in a while.
Okay.
I have. So I guess saying, like I do a bad job telling people no, I have gotten smarter at like telling what bikes I do want to fool with, what bikes I don't want to fool with. And I probably shouldn't tell this dirty little secret, but like if it's something like I can just tell right away, like I don't need to be associated with this customer or this bike or this job, I'll give them some unrealistic motherfucking wait time. It's not telling you no, but it's like, well, if you're willing to wait that long,
yeah.
Maybe
but
by
you
the
kind
end.
of fuck yourself doing that, though.
Well, you absolutely do. You do. It's a double-edged sword. Everything's a double-edged sword. It doesn't matter. There's no right or wrong in this fucking industry. There's not. No matter what way you move, north, south, east, west.
None of us want to say no, because we don't want people to be like, oh, I wanted to spend money with him. He said no. But at the same time, you have to like, you got to imagine every customer is like you're creating vows to get married to these motherfuckers.
Yeah. And I'll be the first fucking person to say it, just because, like I said, fuck you, fight me. Right? Like, the motherfucker that will go out and say some dumb shit like that is the exact motherfucker that I don't want to associate with.
For sure.
Straight up. If you'll go out and bump your gums, run your mouth like that, right away, I know no matter what I did for you, it wasn't going to be good enough. I could have given you the absolute best of me. You would have wanted the best of someone else. It doesn't.
Or if they come to your shop, and maybe you're saying this already, but if they come to your shop and they're talking shit about the other shop in town, oh, this dude fucking sucks. He told me this, he told me that. And like at some point you're like, okay, like
100% no go.
You have to be, as a shop, any of you shops out there listening, you have to understand that there's a fucking play that customers do. And it's not just all customers. It's like people, you know, some people's in to be a part of the industry is to be the customer, right? That customer, the one that has money to spend to do the shit you want to do. He's the honey dick, right? He's got the money to do the bike that you want to do.
Yeah,
but he is the most demanding guy. He's the conniving guy. He's the guy that's going to be like that. You know, everything's cool and dandy. Everything's kosher on Sunday, and then Monday morning you wake up and he sends you some fucking like text messages. It's exactly the opposite of everything you just talked about the night before, and you're like, what just happened? I thought we were boys. I thought we were going this way. You're going that way now. What chat room were you just in last night? What the fuck happened, right?
I have a fucking strict policy within the walls of Hang 'em High Customs or the chat line of Hang 'em High Customs, the DMs you be sliding up in. If you open your mouth about another shop, I don't give a fuck who it is. Me and the person you're talking shit on could have been outside in the gravel 20 fucking minutes ago throwing hands. If you run your mouth on them, get the fuck out of my shop.
Yeah.
I don't want you as a fucking customer. I don't want you around this around my shop, which is my home and my family and my boys. Man, I am so fucking passionate. Not too long ago, I had a dude hit me up on Instagram, right? And if you're seeing this and you get all butthurt because I'm referencing you, then you deserve to be butthurt because you acted like a cocksucker. He gets on there and asks me if I can do something. And I'm like, well, like what? Like, explain to me how he had asked. I was like, wait, what? Like, hold on. You just started mid-conversation. I don't even know what topic we're on. Like, you got to at least give me a topic.
Can you do something? Yeah, what's up? Kill the president. Like, what the fuck, dude?
So it's like, I kind of get on track with this dude, and he's like, yeah, my shop this and my shop that. And he keeps saying my shop. Like, oh, but if you have a shop, then why aren't you fixing your shit?
Yeah.
You know, and then it's like, oh, well, the shop I go to. And I'm like, okay, well, what shop is that? And then he goes into like talk about like how they're doing him wrong. And so I just stopped right there and I was like, no, you're not answering the motherfucking question. What shop are you referencing? And then he tells me what shop. And then I fucking tell him, like, if they worked on it last, you need to go to them. Don't come to me now because something they did either doesn't suit you or failed or whatever. Give that man or woman or whomever the chance to make right on it. But what this tells me is they did something. Like what this is to me is a key indicator that they did the work. You fucked it up. You don't want to go back there and look like a cocksucker. So you're going to come over here, make them look like a cocksucker, and me fix your fuck up. Nope. Not fucking happening around here. Nuh-uh. I'd rather fucking starve to death or eat dry beans than fuck with you.
Yeah.
Period.
Well, you got to, like, people got to understand, like, money is one thing, but now that social media is existing, money is everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when it comes to that type of shit, you know, I don't really deal with it as much now, but back in the day in the big wheel stuff that I used to do, I would have guys that would literally show up to my shop. They send me a message on Facebook because that's where big wheel business took place.
Pumped up. Like,
oh yeah, fucking fight them,
man. I'm sorry.
I remember because there used to be this like real shitty shop in town in Texas, and I say shitty because they fucked a lot of people over.
All right.
I would have gave them credit, but they actually fucked everybody, and it was called Scrub Cycles. And this company, like, you know, sadly enough, like his daughter got cancer, and the whole motorcycle community came to this dude's aid. Everybody funneled money in, helping him out.
It's because it's not his daughter's fault. It's not his daughter's fault that he's a cocksucker.
It is not, and that's why, like, I don't blame that. But this dude just kind of, like, you know, put it like this, like that bike on the lift, that's still on the lift now because we bought $4,000 worth of parts and never got it. The dude filed bankruptcy, right? So you know what it's like to tell your customer, like, hey, you know what? Remember that whole $4,000 worth of body parts we bought from this company? Yeah, well, they went out of business and told me to fuck off after they took their money. And because
I literally couldn't fucking imagine, dude. I don't.
I've never been fucked more times than dealing with big wheel bagger companies, because what happened is, and I'm not talking shit about big wheel baggers as a whole, I'm just saying that what happens is, and I've said this a million times, is that when trends start, quality people start trends. Shitty people end trends.
Fact.
Right?
Fucking fact.
Quality people are starting this performance everything movement, right? And in 5 years or 2 years or however long we got with this shit, everybody and their fucking mom that used to be strip club choppers or whatever they might be called, I don't know. I just see them all the time.
Yeah, they're still around.
Whatever.
They're down in Florida, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, white trash, right?
Hey.
No, but I'm just saying. I'm just fucking with you. But like I said, quality shops create trends, and then shitty shops end trends.
I 100% agree with that.
What happens is what also follows that is that when things become popular and they're expensive at first, other shops start popping up because you can do it cheaper.
Yep.
And then when that happens is the problem is that when you start doing, like, as you're the shop that's offering to do it cheaper, because when you start doing things cheaper, you're literally doing the same work I'm doing, but you're so hungry and so enthusiastic about doing it that you're willing to do it cheaper than what I would do, because I'm a veteran and I know what's involved and I understand my emotions as a fucking man in a bike industry, and I know what it means to take on a job and fulfill a job.
Yeah.
When you're hungry and you're fucking thinking with your dick because you're hungry, you're horny, you want to be in it, you want to be me, you want to be the guy, you want to be Ness, you want to be all these people, you're going to make promises, decisions, prices that you can't fucking live behind, and you're gonna fuck people, which becomes the ass end of an industry where we are with big wheel baggers right now. There's a bunch of companies that just, hey, you got $1 million, I'm a big wheel bagger guy and I'm a good talker, hey, come fucking invest in me. On the ass end of a trend.
Yep.
And you're like, all right, hell yeah, brother. And you do it.
The infamous line, boy.
You do
hell
it.
Yeah, brother.
You do it.
Hey,
you
brother,
look like
everybody's your brother when they fucking need something.
You like that fucking dude on fucking Joe Exotic, whatever that shit is, with the Harley jacket on all the time.
You never had a closer homie, brother, fucking mother and lover, until some dude needs something for some ride. He's going on some hell ride with his brothers, and
they're going to fucking Cracker Barrel in Waco or something.
Yeah, they're going to carry their load of crank across the border on their. Let's get the fuck out of here with your Honda Shadow, punk ass. I fucking can't. God, man. So when you talk about good people start a trend and shitty people ruin a trend, that's life in general, but. It absolutely is what shits on the industry and what shits on trends, I mean, there's guys out there who truly were taking big wheels the right direction. Like, here locally, Chris Moose.
Yeah.
Now, granted,
he was in the middle of the movement, but
I'm not talking about him starting.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily mean him creating the trend or the movement. I just mean, like, you have dudes who truly are out there, like, trying to innovate and take something that's already kind of neat,
hands
30-inch front wheel, and then push it further. Like, the short neck thing that he created, and like other shit, like ways to take this big ass front wheel that really the geometry doesn't fucking make sense, and it's not going to track right, and make it track right. You have the guys that are doing that, and then you have the other guys who are just trying to capitalize on the guys who have money.
Yeah.
And they jump in, I can build you that. And they take these guys $30,000, and then they shit on their chest. And then those guys go out and they have a terrible fucking taste in their mouth now about custom motorcycles.
They're done.
And that's it. They'll sell their motorcycle, lose their ass, tell everybody how they did.
Fucking, what are those things that rednecks with paychecks do? Like fucking, like
mud trucks and shit?
Mud trucks. And what's the other thing? Like the fucking ATVs with all the shit.
The side-by-side Can-Ams, like the Razors and shit.
Yeah, it's that. But, on Chris Moose's thing, like, the thing about him is like he built a bagger that is the chopperest bagger ever built.
Absolutely.
And
I think that's what I love the most about it.
He did it without any influence. So, Chris is a good friend of mine. He might even listen to this at one point, but at the same time, if I was to like judge his career,
yeah,
I would say that he built that bike with the fraction of influence of what the industry was, and he built some one-off shit that nobody's ever seen. It was just blanketed in a lot of fucking bullshit in the world, right? A fucking TV show and the Misfit and blah, blah, blah. But he built it 100%. He created it. He made it. It's his creation.
But because of all the other bullshit going on around it, I feel like...
So what if that was like, let's play this scenario towards you a while ago.
Okay, send it.
What if that was like, what if that was, not to take this away from it, and sorry, Moose, if I'm using you as a fucking analogy here, but what if that's his yeah, exactly, same thing. So I can, he's shaved. He looks weird as fuck right now, right?
Dude, I seen
that.
What the
Hey, fuck? COVID. Yeah, good job, bro.
I mean, good for him.
Yeah.
Like, hey, it just caught me off guard. I was like, wait, is that shit? What?
Yeah. So let's just play the just the perspective thing right here. But
all right, send it.
He built that bike. It's the most innovative thing that the big wheel bagger industry has ever seen. 100%. Other than maybe the other one he built, which was the Hayabusa big wheel bagger that was ever built.
I don't know where to stand on that. I don't even want to talk about it.
Okay, but he built it. It was an amazing bike. It had so much like creation into it. And no matter where you look at it, it was built in like 2013 or 14.
Yeah.
And what if that was his thing I told you to do, where you put all your dick in? You know what I mean? You put all of it in. He might have done it for a company that he wasn't able to receive the kind of credit that he deserves for that build.
So Moose might hear this and call me tomorrow, call or whenever, and call me a motherfucker and tell me I'm wrong. But I believe at the time of building that, he was with a company, a shop, that financially backed going balls deep. Do not mistake me for not having the motivation and the drive and the hunger and that fucking horniness to want to just go balls to just all in this motherfucker.
So throbbing, she can feel the veins going in, right?
Yep. Man.
Ribbed, bro.
I'm there. I'm fucking there. But you can't. No money is no product.
Yeah.
I that's just fucking that. It can be no more clear than that. I can't just ta-da, a fucking motor.
True.
Like
So
I've got all this shit to build this badass T-Sport, right? But I don't got a power plant, and a power plant's fucking expensive.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got the 88 that come out of it and the 5-speed. Still needs completely rebuilt. And it's like, okay, say I just put a stock motor in it, right? I can get a stock motor pretty cheap. But why in God's creation would I put all this other awesome shit with a stock fucking motor? I'm not doing that. A stock motor can't keep up with me.
Yeah.
Like
you're fucking on rails, bro.
I'm moving fast, buddy. Like, and that's stone ass sober. I'm moving fast.
I have to go piss
Do
again.
it.
Did you see all these beers?
Yeah.
I'm fucking laughing you, bro.
You're killing it over there. Man, you're literally about to come around and lap me.
Look at the lens and just tell them how your day was.
This officially just got so awkward.
I can hear you.
How? Well, anyways, I'm here. I appreciate anyone that's watching, if anyone is watching. And at some point, someone's going to listen to this podcast. I think this isn't just a live thing. I'm not really sure. I've grown to be pretty good friends with Jace, I feel like, and grown a certain fondness to the podcast and the shop and Jace and his wife. And so he hit me up. And I thought, fuck it, I'm in. The last time I came on the podcast, we talked about kind of me and where I came from and how I came up. And it was a super, super positive feedback. Got a lot of new followers, got a lot of new people that came into the shop, got a lot of just attention, if you will. It brought in work, it brought in business. So coming here for me is a power play. As a business, it's a power play. Absolutely. I enjoy Jace, but, coming on here is huge. So if you're watching this or if you hear this, I want to know what your opinion is of all the Instagram stories I do. Is it worth the time? And this is something I'm going to ask Jace here in a second.
Dude, pissing is like...
Listen, I'm going to hit you with a new word if you don't know it. Peegasm.
Yeah. There's no better feeling than the long extended, like, closed eyes push.
Yeah. Well, you literally got, put your hand on the wall because you think your knees might buckle. Yeah, I'm like, that's real shit, dog. That's peegasm.
Peegasm.
If you've never had a peegasm.
I'll fuck with that.
If you never had a peegasm, you should just go sit in your closet with a gallon of water and just drink. Challenge yourself, drink a whole gallon. Play Edward 40 hands with yourself.
Edward 40.
You ever played Edward 40 hands?
No.
That would challenge you as a man.
Well,
as a human. That would challenge you as a human being, not a man. I don't care who you are, man or woman. You duct tape 2 40s to your hands. Somebody duct tapes 2 40s and pops the tops off, right? You can't do nothing. Can't get to you. You have to drink both the 40s before you're allowed to pee.
I fucks with that.
Unless you just straight gangsta and can just shotgun. It's fucking hard. So I've done it a bunch of times, and what I do is I'll just shotgun blast the first beer. I can throw down the 40. It's hard, but I can throw it down.
Yeah.
And then the second one is okay, I got to get through this one. That's going to take enough time for me to digest this. And then you're going to have to go. So you better hurry the fuck up. It's doable. It's absolutely doable, but it's tough. You can't, if you do it at a party and everybody's wanting to talk, next thing you know, you're in a conundrum.
I just, the older I get, so for me, when I draw at night, I usually, I save all my creative time for, after work. I go home and I'll crack open a beer and I go sit in my garage, which I have a nice desk and a drawing space. And I'll just sit there and try to create ideas for paint jobs.
Do you use a light table at all?
I used to have a badass one, and I never used it. The idea of having a light table was fuck yeah, a light table, but I never used it.
I know tattoo artists use it a lot. I didn't know if you would, but you're free sketching a lot of shit. You're not tracing shit, so I guess for you wouldn't really need it so much.
Yeah, to me it's my little corner in my garage. It's got a lot of Tim O'Keefe shit. A couple. Cool. I have this picture of Tara Patrick.
I really like his style.
Yeah, Tim's the shit. I have this picture of Tara Patrick, right? So it was the first Easy Rider I ever There's this point in time, I was a lot closer to my dad back in this time, but I remember because this Easy Rider had Billy Lane's fucking hubless chopper in it.
Yeah.
Right. So in January of 2004, I had this. I was working at Walmart as a tire lube and express guy.
Gangster.
Yeah, and it was 2004, and my dad had a shop painting cars, but he was in this town called Clifton, which is west of Waco. It's kind of the middle of nowhere. Really cool little town. I think it's a German town. German settlement, if you will.
Yeah, I'm tracking.
And it was probably one of the closer times of me and my dad's relationship, but the act of going there, I remember going there. My dad was always a pot smoker, had fucking Playboy subscription. So my mom was kind of not super straight laced, but I go to my dad's house and there's a Playboy on the table. I'm like, well, I know what I'm doing tonight.
Beat this motherfucker like it owes me money.
You know what I'm saying? Looking around the corner away from the come in. But the thing is being there, I remember going to his house and oh, it's a fucking new Easy Rider. I check it out, and this is 2004. This is all that shit happening. And then It was crazy. I was there painting a Nissan 240 that I did a deal on. I was painting the car, and it was one of the few cars I ever painted in my life. And then literally at the end of that month, I went back in town. Me and my daughter's mom at the time were having massive problems. We were young. I was 21. And I ended up finding that job at Other Side Customs. He was looking for a sander. And I was like, fuck it, I don't understand. I don't know shit about bikes. I know my fucking baby's mom over here loves bikers every time we pass them on the fucking highway. So maybe I'll be that and she'll want to fuck me, right? Something like that.
But you ain't salty?
No, not at all. But, you know, like, so I ended up, you know, I got this magazine. And I asked my dad, I was like, hey, man, do you mind if I keep this? He said, yeah, man, go ahead and take it, whatever.
Yeah.
And it was the centerfold was like Tara Patrick, you know, which I don't know if you've ever jerked off to Tara Patrick, but
Bro,
it's worth your time.
I'm gonna tell you now, if you're a man of our age bracket and haven't, you feel something's fucking
All
wrong
these
with you.
fucking new YouTube, what is it? Not even YouTube, like what is the fucking Pornhub? Like, you don't know Tara Patrick, you better fucking Google search it.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you don't know Tara Patrick, you've missed out in your life.
So I got that. So I have it in my studio. So my very first shop, my very first one, it was shit, nothing. It was a fucking hole in the wall. But that poster was in there, titties and all.
Good for you.
And somehow I managed to keep that poster in every shop. Folded it up, tri-folded it, put it in the fucking folder, kept it.
Got your file protector.
Yeah,
You know, like.
I have no idea how I was managed to keep that thing from 2005 till now, 15 years, right? But I was like setting up my little workspace in my house right now, and I'm like, you know what? When I'm sitting here on this table, like racking my brain for like creativity and ideas, if I look straight forward, I have a couple of Tim O'Keefe like pictures that, you know, from his magazines, things that inspire me. I have this painting. It's a replica, but it's a painting from a famous like guy that does like a motorcycle. I don't know how to say it. Like, he makes paintings about the motorcycle culture.
Got it. Okay.
Something Herman. I have to double check that. I got this Tara Patrick thing. I got my buddy Victor was John Teller from the fucking Sons of Anarchy.
No,
he's a good friend of mine. He sent me a picture. I got all these things of inspiration directly in front of me. So when I'm racking my head right here,
And you look up.
and I'm just like, fuck, man.
Is this a buffet of thought?
Maybe it's that picture of Tara Patrick that has nothing to do with creativity, but it takes me back to where I started. And I'm like, man, who was I then?
Now, does it take you back to where you started, or and I don't mean this in any sexual
No,
way.
I mean,
or does it
I
just
get addicted.
break you from that? Like, oh shit, I'm stuck in the mud here. Switch gears, boom, I'm over here now.
It's like creativity or inspiration, in my opinion, is a bit of everything. It is movies. It is music.
Absolutely.
It's the emotion that you
what
leave
you feed your mind
house.
is what you'll get out.
So I think creativity and motivation, you know, has a lot to do with how you're able to leave your household every day.
100%.
You know, and you know, like
how you come home too, man. Like,
Yeah,
for me in the
exactly.
shop, how my day was in the shop is dictates the kind of motherfucker that's gonna walk in the door.
Yeah.
If I hit a lick and man, shit went right, and I feel like I just killed it today, or like somebody needed me to do something cool. You know, the other day a guy come in and he's converting, and I don't work on metric bikes, but a guy's got a metric cruiser, and he's converting it to put Harley wheels on it. And yeah, and he's doing it. He's done it.
Oh,
He's made the
awesome.
spacers. He's done this.
He should
he's
start
done
a
that.
shop.
and it's working. He's making
Yeah.
it all work. But he needed a brake stay, and when he cut some tabs off, he cut them off with an angle grinder, and he went at like a bad angle, and he just like cut all into this fucking swing arm. So he hits me up and asks me, you know, hey, can I weld in, a threaded bung for the brake stay, and can I fix where he cut off these brackets and just diced the swing arm all to bits? And I was like, well, I'm busy as hell. Something like that I can do pretty fast. You know, like, just bring me the swing arm. You know, so he brings me the swing arm. I knock it all out. But where I'm going with that is I got to do something that I enjoy. I got to do, you know, fabrication, if you will. And it was dumb. I drill a hole, put in a threaded, you know, bung, fix where he diced this shit up. Fast, easy, but it was like, it was quick. I felt good about it. It made me hungry. It was like, when I got up from my fab table and I turned my welder off, like, man, I fucking felt good, you know?
You took pride in the work you did. So
Yeah.
with my my buddy Zach that's been apprenticing with me, when I'm trying to upsell sanding to him, I'm upselling it.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, here's the deal. This job sucks, but it is the backbone of what we do.
Oh, what he does is the foundation of what you paint.
Exactly. So the way you have to get through this shit is that you have to look at every stroke you make with a piece of sandpaper as you're creating a level of perfection. So you got to like cut out all the other levels of perfection of the finished product. Your goal is to make this piece look like this perfectly sanded, smooth glass piece.
You got to make
of
the Mona
whatever.
Lisa of gas tanks.
Yeah, and you have to look at every job, you do every aspect of building a bike, painting a bike, fabricating a bike. Everything has to have this level of pride and just attention to detail that makes the finished product what we all strive for. One of the biggest things I learned doing paint is that, like, when I was younger, I would look at these extravagant paint jobs that I would like try to dissect. Like, you ever look at a chopper, you try to dissect what they did?
1,000 fucking percent.
That's what we all do, right?
Same conversation.
We want to try to put ourselves in the shoes of the builder and understand what created that idea, that vision, what solved that problem, blah blah blah. Well, with paint, it's the same thing. But once we start, canceling out the order of command there, we start with like, oh, he didn't do that, did he? That's hard. That's a lot of work to get there. But that's what separates professionals from amateurs.
Yeah.
Is that level of commitment, time, effort, dedication, all those fucking, catch me words and fucking motivational words. It really is that. That's what separates it. The guy that's willing to sand that bike down one more time, do those touch-ups, and then final clear it is the difference between you and your shitty fucking clear job and me and my better clear job. You're as skilled as me, but you're not as devoted as I am.
You said shitty clear job. Did you see that FXR gas tank I had to work on the other day?
I did not, but
Oh man. Oh man. It just made me think of that. Sorry, you gave me like a little PTSD
I brought
flashback
you back.
there for a minute. I was like, I don't know.
Hide the ropes.
I don't want to know. I don't want to fix all the threads you painted. No.
I'm guilty of that, so I'll take credit.
You son of
But
a
I
bitch.
try to run bolts in myself. Every once in a while, I fuck myself on a
you
helmet.
you don't use a fucking an actual tap. You just run a bolt in, is hope like hell that it started the right way.
I completely do. Guilty as fuck.
Hey, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Man, fuck. We always have such good conversations. God damn it. Oh boy, I have so many questions. I enjoy your insight because you get to talk to so many people in the industry that I consider successful or that I consider an idol, a mentor, a this, or that. Like, you've had so many people that you've been able to dig off into them that I wish that I could have.
Yeah.
That's why I follow your podcast so tight, because it's like every time you talk to these people, it's like, it's my one little insight to that conversation
Yeah.
I wish I could have had with them. And I can only hope, this is going to be narcissistic, if you will, but I can only hope there's other people out there that are like really looking forward to that chance to hear whatever the fuck dumb shit I've got.
You know
to
what?
say.
Have the confidence of knowing that there is.
Yeah,
True.
I like to believe that there is.
Makes
me feel good inside.
You know what? You said a lot of times, like, I have 2,000 followers, but the thing that we have blown out of proportion that we don't understand is what, not even 2,000. What does 500 people look like?
Oh fuck!
If
That's
you-
a lot of money. Like,
Let's just say you have 2,000 followers and you have 500 guaranteed dudes that fuck with you. 500 motherfuckers can do some damage.
That's an army, homie.
Exactly.
That's a fucking army.
So this whole idea of, like, more followers means more clout, I don't believe it. I think that most people who have what you have, and which is like someone like you said that lady that sent you those flags, people that mean a lot, that invest in you, way more valuable than a number on a fucking forum or a chat room.
I can tell you that if you were to compare my 2,000 plus to someone else's 20,000 plus, I feel pretty fucking confident of telling you that 90 fucking % of those people are genuinely following me because they have some kind of love, support, belief in me. Mm-hmm. Then that other 10%, I'm sure some son of a bitch in Indonesia fucking just following to hope that I follow something back.
It's fucking edible.
And then
this is bullshit.
and then I'm sure there's a few % of somebody out there who hates me and just wants to, shit on my chest.
So with me,
because every now and then I'll just get random things reported, and like I've been told before, I say random, but it's like I've been told before that it's music. So then I started kind of watching the music, and then I'll post something, and then it'll get taken down, and I'm like,
well, there's liberals, right?
I'm like, who's fucking with me? Like,
so
like.
What I would say,
wish you would just come knock on my door and fuck with me.
Yeah, talk to you. Yeah, like
it ain't about talking to me. I mean, you can talk to me, but
give him a chance.
You should just probably know where this conversation is going to go. You definitely should show up hydrated. And
they come up with fucking like what are those things you used to do in grip?
And probably with a mouth guard. I'm gonna slap the fuck out of you.
Well, what I really here's the deal. Like, so for me, what we do, a lot of people probably, I'm guessing here, but a lot of people probably follow us because of inspiration.
Yeah,
painters, whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? Like, I try to post shit that's cool. Yeah. Cool, whether it's like, if you're a lazy fuck and you just want to see the picture and scroll past, cool, I got something for you. If you want to fucking at least engage and see what the fuck this is about, maybe there's something you can read. The goal is to just put shit out there, and if you just want to follow me to be inspired by the paint work I do, I got that for you.
Yep.
If you want to be inspired to go ride your bike and go do some fucking shit, and you need a little, like, kind of a Jocko style, I don't give a fuck that you got kids, bro. I ride bikes and I got kids. Get the fuck out there and ride bikes. I don't want to hear your excuses.
Fact.
You know what I mean?
Handle your shit at home.
I got a career and I got a wife and I like smoking cigars and I like this and I like what the fuck ever. Like, don't
bougie ass.
Don't tell me, oh, must be nice. You can go to Sturgis this year. I'm like, didn't you go to Disneyland, queer? You know what I mean? How was that? As you spent all your money on fucking Coca-Cola. You know what I mean?
Oh man. Oh, damn. People ask me a lot. I'm like,
be a dick to your kids. Be like, you know what? I was going to take you to Daytona, or what's called, but it's the 80th, and fuck off, Sam. You know what I mean?
Here's my thing is like, I'm blessed to have a rock solid ass wife, right? And I think you do too, man. Like,
she's all right. We're fighting right now, but it's all good.
Fuck, everybody fights. Shit.
I'm out.
For me though, what no more beer sugar.
Beer pepper.
Yeah.
I like it dark.
God damn it. I wasn't ready. Now, man, people ask me, hey, how can you go take these trips and shit? You have your business and this and that. Like, number one, I'm always transparent with my customers. If you bring a bike to me, you already fucking know I'm a flight risk. Straight the fuck up.
That's awesome.
I'm a flight risk. Yeah. I at any moment may say fuck this and get on my motorcycle and be gone, and I can't tell you when I'm coming back. And that's poor business. That's poor a lot of shit. But I'm gonna tell you right fucking now, as long as my shit is handled at home, and I say, hey babe, I got to go, and she says, bye, love you, I'm gone.
As long as she sends some titty pics, that's all I need
like
on the
dust
road.
in the motherfucking wind, dog. I'm out.
Yeah.
But what I will say though is like I do take into consideration my customers, their timelines, their this, their that. But I also like I want to live my fucking life, man.
It's the only way you can stay
I
sane.
truly want to live my fucking life, and I'm a gypsy soul. Like, if
You lived on your bike for years, just traveling.
if I'm somewhere, like, no bullshit, since I left home from being a child, Texas, right now, my shop, Hang'em High Customs, is the longest I have ever lived in one house, in one place, with one job since I left home as a child.
Do you think that plays a little bit on you though? Like you're wandering soul?
Oh, it's 100% why I'm in the daily conundrum that I'm in right now. And my wife knows it. She told me the other day, like, my Softail, you know, being all boogered up when my fucking best friend ran me over. She's like, yo, I don't the fuck how it looks. Just make that thing run and go for a ride. Just get away, go, be gone, because she knows I need that. Like, I'm a wanderer. I love to leave home and have no idea where I'm going.
Yeah.
I left Florida one time on a motorcycle and just said I'm going fucking north. I know where I was going, and it literally no fucking idea.
Well, there's something
Had
about
a
that
pocket
too.
full of good, and I was on the boogie, dog. Like, that was it. I was the fuck up out of there, and I love it. There's been times here, you know. There's been times since I lived here. I've in the earlier years of the shop when I didn't have a waiting list, essentially. You know, shit, Thursday wasn't nothing going on, especially when we didn't have the baby at the house. Shit, I get on the bike and just go.
Yeah.
I might wind up somewhere down near New Braunfels, and like, I slept in some dude's fucking field one day. No idea whose it was. Just pulled over, looked around, didn't see no house lights. It was almost dark. I thought, well, if there's anybody living out here, their house had already been lit up. So I parked my bike over in the trees, crawled over his fence, and slept in the fucking field. You know, and man, I could tell you some wild ass stories from before Hang'em High Customs got started, and when I was just living on the bike and being ignorant as shit. And it wasn't ignorant. I mean, that whole, like, I had this whole thought in my head of, like, after going to war and this and that, getting hurt overseas and all that shit, and coming home and, like, you know, healing and recovering. And I was like, dude, I fought for this freedom. You best by God believe I'm going to enjoy it.
Yeah, you're going to fucking
And I
milk
did,
that
dude.
shit.
If I die right motherfucking now, I can confidently tell you at one point I got to live free.
Yeah.
How many people can truly say that? We live in a free country.
On that,
But
I want to trigger you. I want to see how you feel about this. Because honestly, this is one of the things that made me want to ask you to come back on again. Well, first off, I two reasons I want to have you come back on again. One of my closest and most respected friends that I have is my buddy Brandon. He's been a military contractor. I did a podcast with him earlier this year.
Yep.
And I talked about you a couple times in the podcast because you're my gay friend. I'm not homophobic. I got a gay friend over here. But I'm like, no, it's my military friend that I know other things about, right?
I accept that.
I like to, I just associate you with a gay guy.
That's okay. Fuck it.
You know,
$20 is $20. Or now, what is it? 20 tigers is 20 tigers.
But what I wanted to say is, like, with all this shit that's going on, all this corona shit,
you
right?
can call me Justin Exotic.
There you go. As weird as it is to, like, want to also be the guy that's like, you know what? Yes, let me just stay home. Let me just stay out of the limelight. Let me just do whatever I can to help this thing get over quicker and be done with it. But then there's this other underlying thing where we live in America, and I'm not allowed to do something that doesn't that I'm just not allowed to do anything. I can't. I get it. Okay, we can't go to restaurants. Okay, all right, cool. Well, you know what? I'm a biker. I'm gonna ride my bike, and I'm gonna isolate myself, as we all are as bikers for the most part. But you know what? I'm gonna stop right here and just fucking take in what the fuck's going on.
Yeah. But
you want to give me a ticket for that? You know what I mean? Like, what happened to freedom? I really don't. It's, to me, this is the Jesus card, right? You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you want to question it, you want to point out the idea that, like, okay, this doesn't make sense. I thought we were free. Well, we are free, but I can't like go do anything without you're gonna take me to jail to be free? But regardless, coronavirus today, we're supposed to be peaking between now and the 15th of this month. Peaking as a country. They expected 10,000 deaths. And if my math is wrong, I'm sorry, America. I'm sorry. I'm a fucking dumbass biker that rides bikes and paints them and makes them look pretty.
It's all the paint fumes.
So
blame it on the paint.
That's the case. So everybody's like, oh, we're going to be doing this. And we're not. I'm not downplaying it, but I'm also not. This whole fucking thing just is like, it's a goddamn fairy tale of what, it's like oh my God, it's fucking annoying. You know what I mean? But I have a grandmother. My grandfather passed last year that I'm avoiding. I'm not trying, like, I have all my mail go to my grandparents' house because she never moves. I do all the time. So, like, today I went by there. She was outside. I was like, hey, how are you doing? You know, I didn't get close. I didn't go cough on her. You know what I mean? Yeah. I didn't go in the house and, like, fucking finger all her shit. You know what I mean? I just, like, hung out outside and saw she was doing. I picked up my mail and my packages, and I was like, okay, love you. See you later.
Yeah. But
I'm also, you know, like, I get it. We're not able to do a lot of things, right? And I'm torn because we have this camp out, like, coming up in, like, 2 weeks. And everybody, if I post this camp out publicly, I'm drinking enough right now, so I can blame it on alcohol. I feel like a lot of the California influencers are going to be like, oh, that's fucking so irresponsible of you to, like, do a biker event in this pandemic with all this shit going on. But it's like, fuck you, man. I became a biker to be different. You know what I mean? I don't know if I abide by all this fucking shit. Yeah. Where are you at with it? Man. Maybe you can help me understand it.
Boy, I'm gonna tell you now. If you brought me back for that, number one, we gonna fight.
Yeah.
Number two, man, I got a couple different answers. Number one, I don't politic. I don't politic at all. Mm-hmm. I'm a grown-ass fucking man. I've learned through my fucking years of experience, war, drugs, fucking marriage, divorce, goddamn, you fucking name it. Like, black, white, green, brown,
just bring
male,
them all in here.
Female. I don't give a fuck. It doesn't matter. Like, the whole point of free was living how the fuck you want to live.
Yeah.
Everybody's all butthurt, you know. Oh, we can't go to the bar, and we can't this, and we can't that, and we can't. Motherfucker, 24 hours before you got quote-unquote quarantined, which hasn't been fucking enforced in 99% of the places that under fucking quarantine, you didn't go out and do a goddamn thing to begin with. Yeah. What the fuck are you bitching about?
Yeah.
You know, oh, I can't go to the bar. Well, last Tuesday when you got asked to come to bike night, where the fuck was you? You wasn't at motherfucking bike night.
No, Breaking Bad's on for the third time this year.
So what? Suck a fat baby's dick. Shut up with your quarantine shit and get on with it. You know, so I'm a firm believer you can spin any fucking thing to be a goddamn conspiracy.
Yeah.
You can what if, like in the Army, I got told you can what if shit to death, you know? Like, you get trained to something and you say, well, what if this? And then your fucking team leader be like, well, motherfucker, you what if this shit to death? Do this, and goddamn, hopefully it works out, you know? Like, motherfucker, you know, there's a certain part of just go hard and hope like hell, you know? So.
And that's, honestly, that's what probably differed between me and you, because when I got out of college, or high school, college, what the fuck am I talking about?
It's cool.
It felt good to say,
flex
dude.
a little, you know what I'm saying? Shit.
When I got out of community college for 2 weeks, no, but
I failed, but I went.
I didn't even finish to fail. Like, I just stopped going. Like, I was into skateboarding and shit.
Slap ass quit.
But
Mama raised a quitter.
Fuck you. The thing is, like, it wasn't until I met my buddy Brandon that I was telling you about earlier that I realized how much I wish I would have. But I'm not, and no disrespect to Adam Sandoval, I'm not trying to play that whole, like, oh, you know, I wish I would have gone to the military. Like, I wish that I would have for what I see now, but there's no way you could have told me to do
Dude,
it.
it
then.
ain't for everybody.
Yeah.
I hear that shit all the time, right? Like, if you're ever in the military, and I did my time, and a mama raised a quitter too.
Yeah.
Bro, I quit. I went home. That's it. Like, I did my fucking time on my contract for active duty. So, hey, I served my country. Shit's all fine and good. I worked special operations. I went as high as I could possibly fucking go for my age and everything that was like happening in my life at that point. Excuse me. I got out, come home, started pursuing something else, said, this fucking sucks. I miss war. I went back as a private contractor. I fucking went as far as I could go as a private contractor. Got hurt, come home, was like, well, I got hurt. I recovered. I've always liked motorcycles. Like, had all kind of, now mind you, there's a bunch of other shit going on there. You know, as I had the drug addiction, I got the multiple fucking assault on peace officer charges. Like, it was a couple of things.
It's a good time, yeah.
You know, a little here, a little there, a little blow, a little Jim Beam. You beat up a cop. Next thing you know, fucking people don't like you no more. Yeah. So that's when I went all vagabond on my fucking motorcycle. Like, I went all nomadic and just, if you will. I always hate using the term nomad because of the whole, like, especially in the motorcycle
riding
industry.
through this world all alone.
It's not that. It's just, you know, I have really good friends or people that I respect that are, like, truly, you know, full patch, diamond, 1%, and they're nomadic and they fucking travel and they live that life. And I have a lot of respect for it, and I have a huge luster in my fucking heart for it. God damn.
That wanderlust is real though. Like when you're, and you know, I've always tried to use this analogy, but like, you know, you can't explain it to your wife because if you say this, then she immediately
questions everything about it.
She fixates on the first word you say. Like, here's the deal. I like to say it like this. I cannot wait to leave this fucking place. Yep. But as soon as I get out there, as soon as I get to my fucking furthest destination, I cannot wait to be home back to you. Women don't know how to listen thoroughly though. So they only hear the first part. So they don't hear the fucking Valentine at the end of the fucking card. It's like it's a trifold card, motherfucker. Open the next fucking thing. Here's the punchline.
And that, I mean, I ain't even about the whole it being a women thing. It's just when you tell someone like, man, I can't wait to just get the fuck out of here. That's just different for certain people. Like my wife, she knows that I have to stay on the move. Mm-hmm. Like this, legitimately, man. Like this is the longest I've ever been somewhere, and it's driving me fucking nuts. If I could just, but at this point, I'm so fucking invested. My shop. My house. Now we got the baby. Like I
got a family, bro.
Like I kind of landlocked myself. Yeah, I really did. I landlocked myself. But I do not say that to sound like I fucked up. I intentionally came into this and said, I'm never going to take shit serious, and I'm never going to truly put all of myself into something as long as I can run from it.
Yeah.
Like, I told you, dude.
That's a good point.
I told you, dude, I'm a fucking flight risk. Like, as much as I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, I'll stand up and fight. Rah, rah, rah. Like, hey, man, I've been beat up. Don't get me fucked up. Like, I've been beat up and had to walk away with my tail between my legs. Mm-hmm. The difference between me and I guess most motherfuckers is I'm just willing to get beat up over and over again. Like, I got that whole big-ass back piece, right?
Yeah.
And all across that motherfucker, it says, violence is not what sets men apart. It is the distance they are willing to go.
Yeah.
Any man, woman, child, any man can be violent. Any man can get angry and punch the sheetrock and raise hell.
Kyle.
And his goddamn monsters. Any man can be violent.
Yeah.
You know? Any lion in the fucking safari has the ability to eat a goddamn gazelle. Mm-hmm. But how many of those lions are willing to walk across the whole goddamn safari to get that motherfucker? Mm-hmm. You know, and that's when I lay down at night, what I tell myself is I'm the one that's willing to walk across the fucking desert. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's fucking true or not. There's some motherfucker out there that can beat me up. I can name a few motherfuckers off the top of my head that can beat me up, that I know well.
Yeah. And
I love them. But if they do something to me, I look them dead in the eyes and tell them, fuck you. I know I'm going to get beat up, but I'm willing to go that distance. Well, and this isn't about fighting. This is in reference to life.
Yeah, what happens with that, though, is like you get stuck in this place where you're trying to just deal with it. I don't know, man. Like, it's tough, man. Like, all these different scenarios. Like, that's what's hard about, like, if you're in your 20s, right, and you listen to us 30 motherfuckers talking about 30s, right, we're in the part of our life where we're supposed to be earning, right?
That's a fact.
We're supposed to be earning. We already learned in our 20s, we're earning. Hopefully, when we hit our 40s, we're fucking living.
Yeah.
And that's optimistic for someone like us in our age, because we're like, you know what? I feel, you know, as you start to earn in your life, you start to feel like you're living a little bit more. But you know what is, if living, and this would be a testament to like anybody that's struggling in life, if this analogy holds any kind of weight in just normal life, if you're in your 30s and you're struggling, because it's got to be harder once you start making money. It's got to be hard, right? But if in your 40s you start to live, dude, I'm fucking stoked, because 30s have been the best part of my life. The hardest, the most I could lose at any moment. I'm 37 going on 38.
Okay.
So
you jump on me.
I didn't. I did this weird, like the most narcissistic thing you could ever do. I did a podcast on myself.
You know what though? I listened to both parts of that because you're so narcissistic.
I didn't.
You did too.
Well, I needed to make it a 2-part series.
Oh shit. I actually enjoyed them because I don't know if you've ever been on anyone else's podcast.
I've been on a couple.
But even if you were on someone else's podcast, that podcast would have been more in reference to Fast Life Garage.
Sure.
And not Jace.
Yeah.
You took the time to take your fucking robe off, put your dick on the table, and say, "Hey, man, this is it. This is my dick. Might be
this
small,
is all 14 inches.
Yeah, might be small, might be uncircumcised, but this is my dick." You know, so
yeah,
I applaud that, because with my shop, I often put myself out there, dude. I'll put myself out there on the days that I fucking sat with an extension cord before I got on the fucking camera. I'll put myself out there when I fucked up and broke something. I'll put myself out there when I did something great. I'll put it out there when I'm trying to be motivational. I just put it all out there. And I get such good feedback from that. I get such fucking good feedback from that. And that shit is motivating. It's like, okay, I put myself out there when I didn't feel so good. But y'all was like, fuck yeah. I hate today too.
Yeah.
Let's hate today together. And I'm like, oh shit. I'm not the only one. And then that shit's uplifting. You know?
Yeah.
And it's like a lot of people think that I'm coming out to try to raise everybody up. Man, it ain't that. A lot of times I'm coming out with my hand up. Like, I need someone to lift me up. And those people that interact with me that I've never even fucking met before, they have no idea how huge they are. Mm-hmm. They have no idea how strong they are, because they, over and over again, they've pulled me out of that hole. Mm-hmm. And they don't even fucking know that. They message me and they're like, yo, man, like when you did that the other day, it was so great. And a lot of times, man, I'll admit it, a lot of times I don't even have the fucking balls to tell them, like, nah, man, you're the one that saved me today.
Yeah.
Because that's hard to admit. It's hard to admit, especially to someone you don't even fucking know, you know, because you feel so much judgment and so much just weird whatever. But when somebody's like, hey, man,
It's kind of weird because
I hated
I
shit
feel
today.
less judgment from people I don't know versus
Yeah,
people
we talked
I do
about
know.
that earlier.
Yeah.
But it's like, period. It's just hard to tell someone, you know, like you can feel it. And I'm talking about like a whole nother level of fucking darkness, you know, like,
No, I get it, man.
you know,
You know, darkness, like
fuck.
the level that you probably, I'm assuming here, but the level that
That's
maybe
okay.
you have is very unimaginable for a lot of us people that haven't been overseas, haven't dealt with any type of war situation. But
I'm not necessarily gonna blame it on war
Yeah,
though, man.
and
I
I
think
get it.
sometimes
And
it's just a poor. I think it's just a poor ability as a man. Sometimes I'm not gonna say that I haven't been dealt some weird cards, and some of the cards I went and pulled myself. You know, like it's not like life just fucked me. I'm not a victim here.
Yeah.
But man, sometimes like it's like poker. You lay some cards down, you get what you got. You know.
Yeah.
They were good cards or they were bad cards. Sometimes I've been dealt some bad cards. Sometimes I've been dealt some good cards. But either way, I had most of the time I've put one down to get one. You know, so I never want to put myself out there as the victim. Oh, poor me. It's not fucking poor me. Like, yeah, hey, today sucks. This moment is a struggle. This is that. But hey, it ain't poor me.
This is one of the things that I've done in my 30s a lot, and maybe if I explain this to a lot of you listening and you know when you're just like you're who you are right now, right?
Yep.
And you hear people talking about, oh, you know, my dad was a piece of shit, blah blah blah, my family, my this, whatever. When you're in your 20s, you're much more reluctant to be like, you know what, you were a bad parent because you should have been more successful. You should have been more of everything. You should have been more hands-on. You should have been there at my soccer game. You should have been there at my fucking this. In your 20s, what are we doing in our 20s again? What was that?
Fucking off.
Yeah, well, thanks, bro. No, we're learning. This dude does too many drugs. No, it's not
hey,
that.
hold on now. At 17, I signed up for the Army. So, like,
Don't use it for your excuse now, bro. Don't use it.
it
now.
was my later 20s
Yeah.
that I may or may not have allegedly, in the court of law, abused
Court of law.
substances.
But the point is that like when you're in your 20s, it's much like it's more natural for you as a human to like point a finger, and when you get in your 30s, things start to fucking become part of your mold, and you realize, you know what, like life is hard. And at 30, like I had a kid. My daughter is 18 now. I'm 37. My daughter's 18. You remember that MD 2020 you dropped off?
Yeah.
So me and my daughter drank that together. So thank you, sir.
That's dope shit.
I felt like shit afterwards, but thank you.
As you should have.
Yeah.
But man.
So I've never
This
drank.
ain't even for
My
everybody,
daughter,
but-
you know, like my daughter's 18. Like, you know, I could have a whole podcast talking about the amazing experiences me and my daughter had together. But, you know, she was here spring break before this whole quarantine. She's a senior this year, so for her,
You ever done a podcast with your daughter?
not yet, but she's kind of dumb.
Never mind. Spring break 2020 continue. I'm sorry.
All right, so here's the deal. She's lost out on her whole senior year. No prom.
Oh shit.
She's got a scholarship to college for soccer. Soccer season canceled. Starts now. All that shit's done. And so trying to be sensitive to her and the loss of maybe for, you know, you can understand, like for a lot of people, like especially people in the motorcycle industry, kind of more, we don't give a fuck about our senior year in high school because we weren't necessarily football stars.
Yeah, most of us,
You know?
were fucking off in senior year.
Exactly. So like we're like, oh fuck yeah, we're fucking done early, you know. But for her, like she's an athlete. She's losing
Dude,
out on an
yeah.
experience.
As a girl and an athlete.
Yeah.
Girls are a little more sensitive to that stuff, dude. Like, just
Especially
straight
now,
up.
dude. They're fucking retarded. So, but I mean, the thing is like, you know, same thing with my wife. Like my wife would tell me things about like, you know, her dad growing up, which I agree with her in a lot of things that were kind of like bad decisions. But at the same time, like every year, every generation of people, especially now, how quickly things change, right?
Yeah.
How could we even fucking I feel pretty fucking hip, dude. Do you see my beard? I'm so trendy.
Hey, that's just your wife did a
I
good
feel
job
good.
trimming that motherfucker up.
I
Don't
did it
act
last
like
night.
you
She's
did that.
mad at me right now.
Don't
I
act
did
like
this
you did
myself.
that.
But at the same time, if I was to go hang on my daughter, I would feel like the oldest motherfucker in the world because she's 18, I'm 37. I have no idea who fucking trip hop, bebop motherfucker Jones is. You know what I mean? I think the people that you know what I mean? Like it's so different. Like, and so it's really hard to kind of navigate. So when you get in your 30s, you start to think of you start to look at like adults as like, oh, okay, like, yeah, you didn't know what the fuck's going on. So like in the 30s, we start figuring shit out. We start making decisions that make our lives better. You know what I mean? We make more money, but we start to associate, we start to assess decisions based on passion and decisions based on financial ideology, if you will, and we start to make better decisions. By the time I'm praying, by the time we get out of our 30s, we're like making better decisions financially because
And here you are like, quit doing fucking service, and just go all in on builds. And I'm over here like, I'm gonna starve, but I'm doing it.
Well, I'm only saying that because like I'm financially okay right now, but that's pre.
I was about to say, if I ask you in a few weeks, once shit's dialed out.
But I will say that like 30s, I think 30s are for understanding all, like your 20s, it's like your 20s are going to dictate who you're going to be. You're going to absorb all this inspiration in your 20s, right? And we do in our 30s, but just follow me on this shit.
I'll continue.
We're absorbing all this shit, and then in 30s we're sorting it out. We're finding out who we're going to be. We're finding out what really fits us best. I didn't travel in my 20s. I stuck home. I tried to be this family guy. I tried to like turn hoes into housewives. I tried to do all this shit. It didn't work out. And then I got in my 30s, and I started traveling. I started focusing on myself. I started living. I started doing me, and I inspired a woman that I'm fucking proud to own. I don't know if you're allowed to say that nowadays. It's my bitch.
Hey.
It's my bitch.
Hey, 100%.
I own that motherfucker.
Hey, if we was all in the parking lot, some homeboy tried to grab your girl, and you said, "That's my bitch. I own her."
Yeah.
I'd be like, "Yep, that's his bitch, and he owns her."
Yeah.
Straight the fuck up. Get your hands off.
It's mine.
So
Huh.
So that being said, in man law, yeah, you goddamn right you can say that. I'm not sure she gonna be stoked on it. Britta,
Yeah, but,
I didn't support that, but I support that.
He's down with the sickness.
Yeah, I'm fucking down.
But yeah, I mean, all this stuff, man, like, your 30s is like, it really is a transformative period where you can really start making some good decisions if you fucking dial into the fucking frequency.
Yeah.
If you just pay attention
If you're
to
dialed in, though, see, like, I don't get hung up so much in the age bracket shit, right? Because I believe all this shit is an evolution of life, if you will.
it is.
Right? Because, mind you, like, war kicks off 17. I go in fucking 18. I'm able to sign my own paperwork to go special operations. Now I'm 19 years old. I'm in I'm special operations tier fucking 1 in a theater of combat shooting motherfuckers in the face, dog. 19 years old.
The liberal in me wants to be like, bro, are you even old enough to jerk off yet, bro? And
No.
then the other part of me is like, you know what? That's what makes hard men.
My free country says I can't have a beer for
Now you can't have a cigarette.
Yeah. For umpteen more, not like you can have a beer next year. Like, no. 18 years old, right? 18 fucking years old. You got 3 years till you can drink a fucking beer. You gotta fight a war for 3 fucking years before you're allowed to have a beer?
Yeah, it's insane.
Nah.
But yet, beer, like, now, don't get me wrong. I'm a fucking addicted. I'm a fucking addicted. I love this shit. But at the same time, as much as I tell myself I need this to deal with just the coping of like society and growth and like trying to be a part of it.
Yeah.
I could not imagine knowing what beer can do for me now. If you're not using it to get laid or fuck off or blah blah blah, but just use it to fucking calm the nerves.
Yeah.
If I'm fucking 18 and I just fucking, I didn't even kill anybody. I just in some fucking shit and I fucking made it out. Can you give me something to calm me the fuck down?
Let me say something real slow for you. Copenhagen. Goddamn Copenhagen. Any veteran that's going to hear this right now, I'm going to tell you right now, damn near any fucking veteran, all right, if they've been in a fucking firefight, they were clearing the house, shit was intense, even if there was nobody in the fucking house, and they fucking went hard, they went loud, they did a door breach, they fucking did 7 and 9 bangers in every fucking room, and shit's just bang, pow, boom, zing, zang, pow, kaboom. And the whole fucking house is empty, and at the end of it, their adrenaline's just fucking...
They could jerk off and shoot it across a border.
You can put a pinch of Copenhagen in and just be like, like it just fucking everything changes, man. I'm fucking telling you. But anyways, referencing age and life and blah blah blah. In my fucking 20s, yes, I was doing some learning. And I'm 33, so I'm not fucking balls deep in my 30s yet. You know, you might have a little more experience on that.
33, so you're 33. So when I was 33, I'm 37, so 5 years ago. 2015. 2015 is the best year of my life.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, straight up.
So far, 2020 ain't been bad. Everybody talks about the quarantine. For me, like I just said, I'm in my shop all alone every day. So my quarantine, literally, my quarantine has not changed one fucking bit. My life is exactly the same as it was 6 fucking months before Corona ever showed up in China.
I think that's what's hard about it. Like, same thing here. Like, the coronavirus has not affected me until I want to go have chips and salsa somewhere.
Yeah, but... Dude, you need to be homie with law tigers.
I saw that.
Did you see?
Bro, so here's the deal.
I don't know if Thomas listens to this.
I'm biased because I've talked so much shit about, like, here's the deal. Like, Russ Brown, law tiger, same thing or not?
Yep. It's idiot.
Yeah,
let's just face hard facts.
On the podcast, when it comes to sponsorships, I've tried to avoid the generic people.
Yep. Okay.
Not to say anything bad about them, but I've just tried to avoid.
I'm with it.
I don't want to be the same fucking podcast that 8 other ones that have the same sponsors. I don't fucking know what they represent. I've just been like a hater since day one.
Yep. So,
but if you can bring me chips and sauce in the quarantine, we can talk.
The last year of Giddy Up, which was last year.
Poor Giddy Up.
Rest in peace.
R.I.P. bitch.
Rest in peace. Last year doesn't count though. We can't even call last year.
Dude, we're gonna have to
up.
make this part. We're gonna have to stop for like 10 minutes and start part 2.
I mean, I'm down.
Almost at 4 hours.
If you're down, I'm down. But
you know what? The fact that we're like social distancing, and I still have at least a couple more beers.
Yeah,
you got a couple more beers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it might be a good idea. 3 hours and 40 minutes now.
Hey, I'm down to do whatever you're down to do. Like, I stay up all night working anyways. It doesn't.
My phone died in this situation.
Well, you got enough power in here. Get a charger.
All right, so let's say bye for now.
Peace, love, and chicken grease.
All right, cool. Let's go pee. Let's re-up and let's start it over.
All right. This shit's going great. I love it.
Dude, it's a great conversation.
It's like I stood just there like, ooh, my knees a little heavy.
Hope you guys enjoyed that. Had a great time talking to him. It was really great just having somebody here in the shop to sit down and use all this equipment for a change. So thank you guys for checking that out. And check out Justin Hang 'em High, man. Support this dude. He's a rad individual. And check out our sponsors, Dream Rides John on Instagram and teamdreamrides.com. Paint Huffer Metal Flake on Instagram and painthuffer.com. Fast Life 13 for 10% off. Thundermax EFI on Instagram and shoptmax.com. Lexan Moto on Instagram and lexan-moto.com. Fast Life for 15% off at checkout. We'll be back again this week. We got just confirmed we're going to be talking with Tucker Speed on Wednesday and releasing that on Thursday. So looking forward to getting to know this dude. Oh, man, I'm sorry. I'm drinking a Monster. It's my morning wake up. Shouldn't be burping on air, but, fuck it. Anyway, you guys have a good week, and we'll see you back again here in a couple days. Peace out.